Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a jam-packed episode of This Week in Wrestling, the build-up, the grandest stage of them all, and the fallout, all from WrestleMania 41. We're going to break it all down on this massive episode, number 50, right here on This Week in Wrestling.
Yeah, I hope you guys have 5 hours set aside because we're going to talk about everything from the New Day to Mariah May.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
Quiet on set. Places, everybody. And action.
Welcome in to episode number 50. 50 episodes of This Week in Wrestling. And I'd like to say we've gotten better each week, but there is none other than a better example of how much better this show has gotten than the man sitting right there with his crystal clear face and his crystal clear camera and all that goodness. RK, you've upgraded. You put me to shame, man. How you doing?
Yeah, and the least you could do is sit and watch my opening video because I made it specially for you. I had Sol Ruka shaking her ass. I put John Cena in there, and you didn't even watch it.
You don't think you don't think I didn't watch it before I uploaded it into the system?
You didn't even watch it. You were on your phone.
I've watched it.
Not watching all the hard work I put in for our show every week. That's fine. That's fine.
I am dealing with an existential crisis at my job right now. Okay, I'm busy, but my phone's to the side. I'm locked in. We're here. We're focused.
You have fans just deserve your undivided attention talking about wrestling, and you can't even give them that.
RK, I think they're about to get it for about 5 hours. Okay, we have a lot to get to. A whole bunch of stuff to get to, but I want to point out you got a shiny new toy over there, and it is shining, my friend.
It's just a computer, man. It's nothing special.
It is nothing special. It looks great. It looks good. Changing all the colors and whatnot. But yeah, we have a lot to dive into. We are a day removed from watching NXT, the post NXT from Stand and Deliver, and then obviously Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. WrestleMania is night 1 and 2. We're gonna break down the weekly shows leading up to WrestleMania weekend. There is so much to talk about, and we probably shouldn't dilly dally much more. But of course, we have to hit the usual stuff. We got to guess the wrestler. I mean, we've been doing it every week. We got to stick to the script and knock it out. So, RK, I'm ready if you are to see what you got, and maybe I can knock it out this time.
It's insane. Somehow streaming this, it's using like 40% of the GPU. Makes no sense.
It's just
anyways.
It's just a computer.
Nonetheless, yeah. Let's go. What do you got?
It's just a computer. Let's just knock it out with the. Is this a male?
Is it a mammal? Yes, it is.
Good. Is it a male? Was the question, but of course,
yes.
Is this person active?
Yes.
Currently active in the WWE.
Yes.
All right, we're 3 questions in. All yeses. Is this person currently a champion in WWE?
No.
No. Okay. Active. Was this person active in the 2000s?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Interesting. Has this person been the main champion in WWE?
The main champion?
WWE champion, world heavyweight champion. That's kind of where my head goes.
Yes. He has
Yes.
not been.
Oh, he has not been. For shits and giggles, is this Rusev?
No.
All right, you never know. 2010s. This person appeared in AEW?
No.
No, kind of a dumb question there. Okay, so was active in the 2010s. Were they active in the 90s? I doubt it.
No.
I doubt it. I'm into it. 2000s? That's two questions I know. Active in
Yes.
2000s. Okay. All right. So what is that? 10 questions so far and have got nowhere. Okay. 2000s, 2010s, still active, still doing their thing. Not the main champion, but is active. Not a current champion. Who? Okay. Now it's the time where I think and think and think. Has this person been the Intercontinental Champion?
No.
Okay. What about the United States Champion?
No.
They've been a tag team champion?
Yes.
Lord have mercy. Is this like a lifer of a tag team partner here? What are we doing? Ooh. This Xavier Woods?
No.
Don't know if he's been IC or United States champion, but it sounded good. It's not Kofi. It's not Biggie. Is this person more known for being a tag team partner of somebody's?
50-50.
Okay, that doesn't help me, but I see what you're. I got you. I got you. Your wheels are spinning. And
Because he's definitely known as a tag team partner of somebody, but he's also definitely known as a single star too. So it's 50-50.
currently active in the WWE. Was around in the 2000s, 2010s as well, of course. Has been a tag team champion in the WWE. Is this? No, he's known as a single star, so that wouldn't make sense. 50-50. 50-50. Is it Jimmy Uso?
No.
You would consider him a tag team, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't consider him a singles at all. Jay would be considered 50-50.
That's fair. Ah, man. Ludwig Kaiser.
No.
Oh,
He's never been tag team champion.
I thought he was. What am I doing? I said I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place. I said 2000s. And when was Ludwig Kaiser wrestling in the 2000s? Fuck. All right, I gotta lock in. What am I at? This is my 18th question.
Don't worry, you'll get it with the hint.
Okay, but I want to see if I can get it before the hint. Is this R-Truth?
No.
Motherfucker's been active forever. All right, I got two questions left.
He was friends with Tupac.
Yeah, no, he was active in the 90s. Lord have mercy, help me. What I got? Two questions left. Never tag team champion though. It's been active for a while. Never a main.
Let me just check something because this I think he might have been Intercontinental Champion, but the site's not showing him as it.
Okay.
So I just want to check it.
Tag team champion. Doesn't mean he was active in the WWE in the 2000s by any means. He could have been elsewhere. I get that. He's currently active. Lord. And I am stumped right now.
No, he hasn't been. Okay. Just tag team championships.
Tag team championships. And he's been active since the 2000s. He's really carved out a career for himself by just being a team player here. Hey, Shit.
He was barely active in the 2000s.
That's
As
fine.
in he was active and then not active and then active again.
In the 2010s per se. It was
Yeah.
mainly the 2010s to now. Okay.
Yeah.
Use my head here. Chad Gable?
Yes.
Yes. What was the hint gonna be?
He is definitely not from the Gulf of America.
That would have been a dead giveaway, dude. You could have really swerved me and just said, nope.
Nope, it's El Grande Americano.
All right, man. Go ahead. Guess it.
Is this a female?
No.
Is this wrestler active?
Yes.
Is this wrestler active in WWE?
Yes.
Has this wrestler ever appeared in AEW?
No.
Was this a wrestler active in the 2000s?
No.
Was this wrestler active in 2010s?
No.
Oh shit. WWE. So has this wrestler been in NXT?
Yeah.
Okay, recent. Not active in the 2010s. Is it Braun Breaker?
Fuck yeah, it is, dude. You killed it.
Okay.
You killed it. Dude. Wow. All right, that was quick. I know a lot of people.
I had to think who was recent, like not active in 2010s, but is shot to main roster out of nowhere. So
yeah, I guess you really. Yeah, I guess you're right. Because how many from the 2010s?
there's not a lot of wrestlers that have only been wrestling for 4 years and is on the main roster.
You never asked if he was on the main roster though.
WWE. We already established WWE is
Oh,
separate
yeah.
from NXT.
You were gonna get there no matter what, but you're right. I need to make a mental note of that every time we do this segment. All right, that is that. Moving along, we got a long show here, but of course, it wouldn't be us if we didn't do the one, the only. It's the hit piece presented by RK, of course, with the Top Rope Renegades, episode number 50's edition. What a picture, by the way, of Nick Khan right there, because he doesn't give a shit. The headline reads, Nick Khan feeling punchy. WWE President Nick Khan was asked by Bill Simmons about AEW being a competitor. In terms of the other wrestling promotional company, they have a lot of talented wrestlers, and we're happy about that. When contractually, they are available to talk and have conversations with, assume a number of them will come over. Nothing but respect to the father who finances it and owns the Jacksonville Jaguars and all those other things.
That's not all he went on about, but that was the main takeaway from it. He was just taking shots.
Yeah, he was. I love Nick Khan for that. It's Tony Khan's fault for going out that one time and saying there's only room for one Khan in the wrestling industry. Like, okay, Tony. Okay. Know your role and shut your mouth is what I have to say. Let's take a look into Japan. New Japan roster news. New Japan has announced that Tetsuya Naito and Bushi have mutually decided to part ways, and the duo will be leaving the company. Their final appearances with New Japan will be on May 4th at New Japan Wrestling Dontaku. For anyone thinking that Naito would be headed anywhere, I don't think so. I think retirement is what's calling his name.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
You're way off base. So, Dave Meltzer came out and said that he doesn't think he's heading to AEW. AEW has had plenty of chances to offer him some kind of a contract and haven't. That being said, New Japan and him are parting ways because he is asking for more money than they are willing to give. So he still wants to wrestle, but New Japan's not going to pay him. So I don't think he's done yet. It's just a matter of where he lands.
Interesting. Would WWE pay a guy? I mean, let's be honest.
No, probably not.
I don't think he goes to WWE. It's just he's at the tail end of his career. The surgeries, the injuries he's dealt with, I get it. Now, someone that could be making their way to WWE, that is Mariah May. Mariah May is all fed, this headline reads. I believe within AEW is that former women's champion Mariah May is headed to WWE. Well, people within WWE know she wants to join the company. May's AEW contract is believed to expire sometime later this year. People close to May said prior to her signing with AEW that her dream was to go to WWE. I have followed Mariah May before she made the jump to AEW. She just was a pretty face that popped up on my Twitter feed, and I was like, oh, she's cool. She's a professional wrestler. So follow. And then people started uncovering old posts of hers where she would be considered a freaking fed because she was all WWE fangirl before she started taking up pro wrestling. So I'll ask you, RK, you think she's showing up in WWE?
Yeah, 100%. There's news on it. Apparently, after her program with Tony Storm ended, she asked for her release from the AEW.
Ooh,
And
interesting.
nothing has necessarily come of that yet, but she apparently has asked for her release, and that leads us into Idiot of the Week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Hey, if you're gonna post shit on Facebook, your name's gonna get out there anyway. So Jordan Harley Massine, this is outright a lie, laughing my fucking ass off. Not only did she sign a very clear multi-year deal last year, Mina Shirakawa is literally coming back to America soon and will be all elite. So Mariah is not going anywhere. LOL. Stop spreading lies, and even she's made tweets about this, telling y'all to stop spreading false bullshit. Any wrestler is going to tell people, like Penta did it. They all do it. John Adams replied, yeah, she signed a 2-year contract in 2023. Her contract coming up, so yeah, she'll be in WWE.
Right.
And then Eddie Lukritz, I like these guys because they just gave it to him. Your boy Uncle Dave is saying this, and that's Tony's best bud. And then Gadsden Anthony goes on to say, you got to feel bad for Tony at this point. He gave them the title, all the money in the world, and a better schedule, and they still leave for WWE. And then Jordan has to come out and says, she is literally not leaving, LOL. Mariah just fucking signed a multi-year deal last year after she won the title. I don't think you know that her contract is definitely up this summer.
She's coming to WWE. She's great. Mariah May's great. Her and Tony had one of the best feuds in AEW history, to be fair. Fueled, don't get me wrong, by Tony, but Mariah helped. And has Mariah May made any appearances in AEW since she dropped the title?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. We don't watch, but I haven't seen her name pop up on my social feed besides her pictures of her as a WWE fangirl or that she's leaving. That's the only thing I've seen from Mariah May since she dropped the title back to Tony. So there's that. Well, RK, I don't know how much news you got. It's not like it was a busy weekend in professional wrestling or anything. But yeah, take it away, man. Let's get through the news and take a deep breath because we're gonna have some fun talking about wrestling, man.
So yeah, we're gonna cover some topics that obviously, if you're watching this in the order and you haven't watched any of this, I don't even know why you're watching us. So you already know everything that's gone on. But so some of this will spoil what happened during the week and over the weekend. But I mean, like I said, you probably already know. You're just here because we're fun to watch, I hope.
Sure, or if you're watching this as recaps and you didn't watch, thank you.
Yeah,
we got you.
Appreciate it.
Spoiler warning.
Kurt always asked me we should, shorten up the recaps, but no, we shouldn't. We got to give our fans what they want.
Oh no, I wasn't suggesting shorting the recaps by any means. I was thinking, who cares about the build up to Raw to Mania? But at the same time,
everybody cares.
Build up to Mania is important, man. Just as much as now the Fallout's more important.
It is said the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony may no longer be a mandatory event for talent to attend like it has been in the past. They're also talking of ways to shorten it down because there was a lot of people sleeping this year.
Booker T was one of those victims caught on camera.
No, he was resting his eyes.
No, he said he was praying on NXT TV this week. Jey Uso had very dark sunglasses on. I think he was opening WrestleMania the next night. So yeah. And I love that's the rumor, and I think Triple H even said, sometimes these go long, sometimes they're short. I'm gonna try and get through mine, and his was an hour and a half. Him talking, which is fine, but you got to find ways to shorten it. I don't mind the Hall of Fame, but it is a bit of a drag depending on who's up there talking.
Kairi Sane is expected back in WWE on television at any time now. She has been cleared for in-ring action.
Have you seen any of her posts of her recently on her socials?
Yes.
She looks great. Like she's ready to rock. So excited to have Kairi back.
I know what you're saying when she looks great. It's okay,
No,
Kurt. You
no,
can
she's
admit it.
in shape. She's gorgeous, but she's like in shape. She's looking great.
There was a plan earlier this year for Joe Hendry to appear on Raw and kick off a feud with The Miz, but a WWE executive did not like the idea of Hendry losing in his debut. Ethan Page was ultimately sent to TNA to do a version of the same idea, and as we found out this weekend, he lost his first match anyways.
Yeah.
But on a bigger stage, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Which means I need to pull something up real quick.
In response to questions about Hook, after fans spotted him vomiting in the ring during a break after his match with Samoa Joe against Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta on last week's Dynamite, Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer said he threw up, but he did not have a concussion. That's what I found out. It's not known why Hook got sick, but speculation is he landed stomach first on the legs of a steel chair.
Okay. Sure. I don't know, man. He looked lost and he was throwing up, so that leads me to believe other things.
Scorpio Sky, another member to add to the list of AEW talent that's not used. He is healthy and good to go, so it's not clear why it's keeping him off of AEW television.
Huh.
The Roast of WrestleMania likely won't air live because WWE executives believe it is too much of a risk and will likely be available for viewing later after massive edits.
Yeah, from what I've heard and what I've seen, one, it was treated like a roast. The people that went up there with the microphone roasted. But I got a feeling some of the things that were said are going to be, as you said, heavily edited out. Mainly Nia Jax's part, probably some of Paul Heyman's. Apparently, Paul Heyman pissed off Gabriel Iglesias, according to what he said on Pat McAfee's show, which makes me wonder, like, all the wrestlers he took shots at laughed and had a good time and went along with it. But Gabriel Iglesias, the longtime comedian, had an issue with it. I don't know, man.
Some people feel that some of the talent were airing grievances, so it's hard to say without being there to see it, but
right,
it is what it is. There is a certain roasts are supposed to be lighthearted fun while roasting your colleagues, but sometimes airing personal grievances can be frowned upon.
Yeah, apparently Nia took some shots at Charlotte and her marriages and whatnot, so I don't know.
There was a rumor at one point after her program with Tony Storm ended that Mariah May requested her release from AEW, but nobody can confirm its accuracy. WWE sources are playing coy in regard to how interested they may be in signing her because she is still under contract in AEW. But as we saw, Tony Khan said, assume most of them will be coming over.
Nick Khan said that, but yes.
Tony, Nick, Tony. There's only room for one Khan.
I was about to say it.
Also, during that interview with Nick Khan, he also revealed that it was The Rock who told Travis Scott to slap the shit out of Rhodes, telling him otherwise people would think Scott didn't have it. Triple H said Cody was one of the only people who wasn't upset about it, about the allegedly eardrum rupturing slap. He just wanted it to look good.
So Cody was just fine with it, right? Okay.
Yeah, it was Alvarez who reported that the impression he's gotten about Naito and New Japan is simply that he wanted a lot more money than they were willing to pay him.
Okay. I wonder how much he's wanting. But
New Japan is notorious for not paying well.
Like I said when I read it off, WWE's probably not going to pay him.
No, AEW would be the only one, but AEW probably doesn't have any interest because they've had chances. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Tony Khan said he likes AEW's current schedule of 9 pay-per-views per year, but could see it going up to 10 in the future.
They do
I
put
don't
on
think.
good. They put on good pay-per-views most of the
Do they?
time. Most of the time.
Do they?
Here recently, not so much, but
The Wrestling Observer newsletter is under the impression that it was Nick Khan's decision for WWE to not contact AEW President Tony Khan about Sting possibly inducting Lex Luger into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025. I mean,
okay.
sure.
Yeah, sure. All right.
During an interview on the Masked Man show, CM Punk said WWE is trying to get him to sign a 5-year contract.
I thought he signed something, or no, maybe there were discussions and they never. I don't know. He's not for everything. It looks like and sounds like that dude.
Last time he said anything, he was looking for like basically a lifelong contract.
Right. I don't see that dude going anywhere. I think we both have said he's probably going to take over fucking the Performance Center from Sean. You know. I don't know though. He's a Chicago guy.
I'm just reading through some of this because some of it's completely irrelevant now. WWE replacing Bayley with Becky Lynch at WrestleMania has been in the works for a while and was not a last minute thing.
Yeah, Chris Van Fleet posted his interview with Bayley, and this was before the injury angle happened on WrestleMania Saturday. And she kind of alluded to it, saying, sometimes this stuff happens, and you'll see it's going to happen because it was recorded before. I understand people feeling bad that Bayley got pulled from WrestleMania, but at the same time, she had a hell of a year when you really think about it. Last year, she won the Royal Rumble. She won the title at WrestleMania. She's a good team player, but if you ask AEW fans, RK, her contract, which she did note, is expiring. She's got like a year and a half left, so she's going to be in AEW most likely.
Well, not most likely, but I wouldn't see her not exploring the option just because Mercedes is there.
Yeah, unless Mercedes is gone from AEW by then. But why would Mercedes leave? She's making hella money and she's creative control. I mean, even though, sorry, she's not creative control. My bad. I shouldn't put that out there. That's a lie.
No, she has creative control. What are you talking about? The injury that led to Rey Mysterio having to be pulled from WrestleMania 41 was a torn groin. He initially thought he could power through, but the damage was worse than he thought. So it wasn't his knee, as people are speculating.
I still think that happened when he was pulled from the ring by Julius. I saw the clip. I saw the clip, but
WWE's acquisition of AAA has apparently been in the works for a while. Dave Meltzer said on Observer Radio that it's something that's been brewing for well over a year, but he's never reported it once. Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp talked to AAA talent who said they kind of heard stuff for a while, but didn't put much stock into it until stuff really started to pick up after the TKO merger, but never mentioned anything about it at all.
Yeah, that's them trying to save face. Blah. They're annoying. They're annoying.
Didn't you know? I knew like 8 months ago. I just didn't want to tell anybody.
Yeah, I had heard rumblings. I actually called Vikingo, and he told me that might be happening. But why would I report that on our show?
Some that Sapp talked to were even skeptical of the announcement and would be shocked if the Roldan family sold WWE total control to AAA.
I don't believe a word. I don't.
Jesus. Regarding current AAA champ Alberto El Patron, Fightful says that for years WWE was a hard no on bringing back the former Alberto Del Rio, but sources close to El Patron claim that there have been talks and that things are no longer contentious between the two sides.
He was with Charlotte. I remember he was with Charlotte. That was, I think, Charlotte's first or second marriage. Bad divorce there. Because Alberto was kind of a piece of shit. Is a piece of shit.
Eric Bischoff and CJ Lana Perry became the latest wrestling figures to sign with Paradigm Talent Agency. They joined CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Tiffany Stratton, Damian Priest, Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, and Sheamus as Paradigm clients.
Okay.
Discussing Steve Austin crashing his ATV at WrestleMania on Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez said he heard WWE is nervous about a potential lawsuit from the fan who got jostled when Stone Cold hit the barricade. I mean, she did a hell of a sell show 5 seconds after it happened.
Yeah, there was a hell of a delay on her falling backwards into the chair. And then there's video of her later in the night having a damn good time, being just fine. So I don't know if they win that lawsuit. Good luck. Just let Nick Khan, well, Nick Khan was talking to her, wasn't he? So
her and Stone Cold were.
So like, hey, sorry that happened. Here's some fucking tickets. Like, here you go. Come on.
On the WrestleMania Sunday post show, Triple H was asked about Bayley being pulled from the card, even though she is not injured. WWE CCO said, "Don't worry, guys. Bayley will be just fine," and called her a true pro.
She is. Bayley is a true pro. But if you watch Van Fleet's interview with her, you can see a little frustration. But I don't know, man. Bayley's a professional. I think she'll be fine. They'll get something cooking with Bayley.
It was noted that WWE had already been making plans for Joe Hendry to work WrestleMania 41 even before Kevin Owens' injury issue went public. And I can finally say that I was wrong about that. So
it's all right. What can I just say now that you're past that? Fuck, that sucks, doesn't it? No Kevin Owens for however long?
Probably be back next year, I think.
Think so?
It depends. I mean, it's for most people, it's a year and a half. So that surgery.
So can we start speculating a Royal Rumble return for Kevin Owens?
Probably a little earlier, but maybe a WrestleMania return. Attendees at Sunday night's Tony Hinchcliffe hosted Roast of WrestleMania said that R-Truth, The Miz, Braun Strowman, Nia Jax, Sami Zayn, and Pat McAfee all got time at the podium, with Triple H making a surprise appearance at the end, and Linda McMahon was in attendance.
Paul Heyman as well. That's the big one I've heard coming out of that.
Yeah, can I continue talking?
So sorry. You paused.
It was posted on social media that Paul Heyman predictably stole the show, and that because it featured typically explicit roast material, it's extremely unlikely to ever air or stream anywhere.
There's clips out there. There's clips. Fucking Paul Heyman, man.
It is being reported that Kathy Kelly has been training at the Performance Center as of late and has been doing promo class and even some in-ring stuff. She could be used as a manager at some point.
That'd be interesting. Let's speculate real quick, RK.
That's going to piss Samantha Irvin right off.
Maybe
we're probably actually. I think we're probably the first people to talk about Samantha Irvin in the last 4 months. What's she been doing?
She dropped a music video that had people talking. She did some stuff WrestleMania weekend singing while there was a match going on, I think. I hope she's living her best life. I like Samantha, but
she fucked up.
I wanted to speculate. Kathy Kelly, who you think would be a good person for her to manage? Who could you see her paired with? Like a young upstart or a vet? She's always getting along with like AJ Styles in the back.
No, that'd be fucking weird.
That'd be stupid.
Make her the manager of fucking Paul Heyman's faction.
So then they bring in Austin Theory, and she manages. Ooh. I can see it.
Joe Hendry,
I believe,
was handpicked by Randy Orton to be his opponent at WrestleMania 41 because Orton is a fan of his work.
Interesting. Did you see the names? I don't know if you'll have it in the news. Did you see the names of the people being thrown out to fill that? I saw one.
Well,
I saw one that mainly made me go, "Damn, that would have been cool." It was Jeff Hardy.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe they make one last WrestleMania appearance.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they do. I think they do.
It is said that the Stephanie Bakir versus Io Sky champion versus champion match on Raw after Mania received a very positive reaction backstage.
It better have. Those two are so good, and they worked well together in the ring. Man, can't wait to see.
Yeah, no, that was a good match, and I mean, obviously the finish was the finish because you can't have either of them really losing. But good match. Good match.
I asked that while we were watching, who realistically wins this, unless it's and yeah, you couldn't have either of them lose. I liked it.
And And that just goes to prove that, I mean, Julia did show up, but I mean, Stephanie Vaquer was front and center.
Yeah, you put Julia out there to build that feud more with Stephanie. The Roxanne ones, I guess, to build for EO. To have that, I could see that being EO's first title defense. Roxanne, she'll win. I say first, but post Mania, she'll beat Roxanne. I don't see Roxanne winning the title from EO, but just a name to put in the cap of EO on her reign. Who takes it from her? I don't know. Probably Rhea again. I don't know.
Probably Rhea.
Because they did have stare down.
According to Deadline, Rusev's deal with WWE is for 2 years.
Good for Rusev. It was good to see him back.
Yeah, I just don't see how far he's going to really go. He'll just be
mid-card guy. He'll probably win an IC or US title.
Tama Tonga is out with an injury, and it could require surgery. LA Knight's attack on SmackDown last week, they claim, may have been a television write-off.
Okay.
And it is rumored that the 2 call-ups from NXT at the draft are going to be Trick Williams and Lola Vice.
Trick makes sense, kind of, because he can get over with the fans. But right now, I don't know how over he will get. He actually was getting booed on NXT TV because he wouldn't shut up. Joe Hendry kind of owned him. Lola, okay. Is Lola the most ready call-up there?
I mean, yeah, she's over.
She is over.
Oddly enough.
She's got a good song. Her song's fire. Thea Hale was dancing to it while she was waiting on her to get to the ring. Yeah. I mean, I don't count Jordan Grace, Stephanie, or Julia in that conversation, but
no, there won't be a draft. They'll just be a call-up, I think.
Yeah, they'll just show up. Fraxium, though, man.
I think that's a foregone conclusion that they're just going to be there.
Just a call-up.
They'll just show up.
Yeah, that's fair. We're not going to talk about it when we get through the weekly. Was that it? Was that all you got?
That was it. Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to talk about when we get through the weekly breakdown, but I wanted to bring you up to speed. I don't know if you saw this, but the Thursday before WrestleMania weekend kicked off was TNA Unbreakable. This was their name-branded live show here. The TNA International Championship Tournament, the title that replaced the media title that was held by who was it? POC or what is it? What is his name?
PCO.
I was thinking of Chicago Cubs outfitter Pete Crow Armstrong. PCA. That's where I got hung up. Eric Young defeated Zachary Wentz and JDC in a semifinal match for that. And then Steve Macklin won the other semifinal match. The main event was going to be Macklin, Eric Young, and AJ Francis. And Steve Macklin is the inaugural TNA International Champion. They did this all in one night. Sami Callihan defeated Mance Warner in a barbed wire massacre match.
I saw clips from that. That was fucking wild.
Joe Hendry teamed with Masha Slamovich, the 2 main champions, and defeated Frankie Kazarian and Tessa Blanchard. Mike Santana and the Hardys defeated the Nemeth brothers and Mustafa Ali. And then Moose defeated Sidney Akeem in a TNA X Division Championship Open Challenge. I think it's this Sunday. Yes, this Sunday, RK is TNA Rebellion 2025. It is the pay-per-view taking place in Los Angeles. Announced for the show, if this ad would get off of my phone, is the TNA World Championship 3-way match. Frankie Kazarian is cashing in his Call Your Shot gauntlet winner. It is Joe Hendry defending against Frankie Kazarian and Ethan Page. The TNA Knockouts World Championship is on the line. Masha Slamovich defending against Tessa Blanchard. The World Tag Team Championships, the Hardys, they're defending against the Nemeth brothers. And then we have a TNA X Division Championship 6-way Ultimate X match. The Ultimate X match has returned. Moose is defending against Matt Cardona, Leon Slater, Casey Navarro, El Higo del Vikingo, and a mystery person. The TNA International Championship, Steve Macklin will defend against Eric Young. There's a lot of matches. I think we're going to try to tune into this, yeah?
We absolutely can. I would.
I will too. I will get it set up. TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship 4-way match. Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance are defending their titles against Danny Luna and Jody Threat. Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson. Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley in a fatal four-way match for the TNA Knockouts Championship. Mike Santana versus Mustafa Ali in a false count anywhere match. Rosemary, Zaya Brookside, and Lee Ying Lee are taking on the team of Fatal Influence, Fountain Henley, Jason Jane, Jasmine Nix. And then there is an open challenge. It is the Walk with Elijah Open Challenge. Elijah, formerly known as
It
Elias.
should be Ezekiel.
Ezekiel. But that is the card. TNA Rebellion looks like a pretty banger card, man. That will be taking place 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific.
I completely forgot that LA Knight was Ezekiel. Completely forgot about that until I saw a picture of it.
Oh my god, stop. He wasn't, dude.
He was, though.
No, he wasn't.
That was LA Knight.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Absolutely was.
That is the news. That's the update. What's coming up on TNA. I looked through something and I realized, RK, we didn't even mention it. You know what we completely missed, and I don't think we talked about it in the last episode, was Windy City Riot. We didn't watch it. It went and passed. It was April 11th. I didn't read through any of the results, but a couple notes I wanted to make. The number one contenders match for the Strong Women's Championship was between Azumi and Mina Shirakawa, and it ended in a double countout. So I don't know where they're going with that. Mercedes is still the strong champion. So the main event was Takeshita versus Tanahashi. Takeshita beat Tanahashi in Tanahashi's final match in the U.S.
Finish up. I got to take a phone call for work, but do your thing.
And then New Japan Resurgence. I can answer this question. It is a triple threat match for the Strong Women's Championship. Mercedes Moné defending against Mina Shirakawa and Azumi. We'll break down that card a bit more next week because it's shaping up to be a pretty good one for Resurgence on May 9th for New Japan. RK is on a call. When he gets back, we will be back and we will be breaking down the weekly shows leading up to Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania weekend. And then we're going to talk about the night after WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw and the NXT post Stand and Deliver. Lock in. We're going to break it all down right here on episode number 50 of This Week in Wrestling with Top Rope Renegades. Welcome back in. Episode number 50. We are rolling along. Time to get things going. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to kick things off with Monday Night Raw. This is the go home show before Monday Night Raw, for WrestleMania. Sorry, stumbled over my words there.
You know how they say, Kurt, go into business for yourself. You know, it's totally awesome. You know, own a company, you'll make lots of money. Nope. You'll get phone calls telling you $6,500 to repair a fucking transmission on your vehicle.
That sucks, man.
And if you work for a company and your work van breaks down, what do? You go, hey, boss, van's fucked. Fix it.
They send it to their guy and they fix it. Yeah, there you go. Congrats.
Yeah, awesome. Lots of fun. Y'all, we need to make it famous. Fucking hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I can't do this anymore.
Hit the bell. Hit the fucking bell.
Dane, motherfucker. Yeah, it's Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania, April 14th, 2025, from the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. We got Michael Cole, Pat McAfee on commentary, and yeah, it's good stuff, man.
Yeah, it is the last Raw before WrestleMania. You know, means it's translates to we're going to talk a lot on this show because WrestleMania is right around the corner and the card's officially set. And we know what to expect from both nights. So, you know, still something chance could get added, but odds are it's going to be firming up what is already set. So let's rock back into it. We get recap, look back at Jey Uso getting fired up for his match with Gunther. He basically told Gunther, I'm not afraid of you. Yeah,
I'm not afraid of you.
I'm not afraid of you anymore.
You don't scare me.
And it is announced that Michael Cole will have a one-on-one with Gunther. Cole and Pat say hello, but Gunther heads to the ring. Gunther says, last week, Jay told me he's not afraid of me anymore. Tonight, he is here to get the point and tell everyone that Jay is full of crap. Gunther cuts Cole off, and he just takes the mic, basically saying, fuck your question, fuck Jay, fuck everyone else. And right now, he is the greatest world heavyweight champion of all time, and he refuses to let Jay ruin it for him. He urges Jay to walk into Mania chest out and more confident than ever, but that bell's going to ring, and he can't lace his boots. He will put Jay down for the 4th straight time, and he says, 37 years, he's never not been in control. He was in control when he bathed in Jimmy's blood, and he tells Jay to thank the Lord that he didn't lose control and bathe in Jay and Jimmy's blood at the same time. He will beat Jay and still be the world champion after WrestleMania.
Yeah, he also promised to call his mother afterwards too.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? I'll call my mom. We get a look at Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. They became the #1 contenders on SmackDown the week prior in a gauntlet match to be going up for the tag titles. We see Bianca Belair. She talks about a different version of the ESTs that's headed into WrestleMania, and it's full of facts. She's not complaining. This is the best version of herself, and you can't spell WrestleMania without EST.
See, I didn't know that until she told me.
Yeah, it's true.
Actually, no, sorry. I went to Canadian schools. We get taught how to spell. I'm sorry. It's a shot. Ding.
No shit. Where's my bell?
That leads us into the first match tonight is Bayley versus Liv Morgan, because you got to have a singles match between the tag match before the tag match happens later.
Yeah.
Good old fashioned Tony Khan booking. The finish comes at around 13 minutes. Liv Morgan loads up the Oblivion, but Valkyria holds on to Bayley and the ropes to keep it from happening, which then allows Bayley to get the roll-up pin on Morgan. Typical last week booking. Get some time in the ring, get some, animosity between the two teams, build a little suspense, but we ain't really going to do anything.
Yep, the typical. Hey, WrestleMania's coming up. Let's take it easy, guys. Pat and Cole.
They forgot to tell Rey Mysterio on Friday, though.
Yeah, no shit. Pat and Cole break down that. Just announced that Pat's show will be live from WWE World on Friday, and it is confirmed that Roman Reigns and Triple H will be on the show. Punk, Roman, and Seth plus Paul. We get that story update and where we are so far. We get a shot of Paul Heyman waiting for Roman Reigns to arrive. We get a Rhea Ripley vignette. She says she sees right through Bianca Belair's lies and knows what she is here to do. The reality is that Ripley will stop at nothing to get back what she loves. Then she used a page out of Io Sky's playbook to get back to the title match at WrestleMania. She says she is going to be getting the title back.
Yeah, good stuff there. A lot of fun. And Io Sky, you just
yeah,
she's winning, and we all find out that she does, but she's winning. But Rhea looked good here, and everything worked. I mean, realistically, before going to the weekend, any one of them could have won. I was pulling for Io just because it's going to really set her as a top contender in the women's division.
And you almost saw it coming by the way they showed and portrayed her throughout this, that it was really Rhea and Bianca going at it, and Io was the afterthought. And if you've watched wrestling, you kind of had a good idea of what they were doing.
Yeah, and that leads us into our second match tonight. We got Rey Mysterio versus Julius Creed. This match went a little over 10 minutes. Finish comes when Julius misses a charge that sends him to the floor. And then out comes El Grande Americano with Mysterio going for his mask. This distracts him long enough for Julius to hit him from behind. But that is turned into a 619 into a slingshot splash to give Mysterio the pin at 10-19. A little back and forth there. You saw it with the interference that, Rey Mysterio is going to get the loss to Julius, but he pulls it out in the end. It was a good match. Julius really got to show up in this match and show that he is really fucking good, even though it was a losing effort. But I mean, losing to Mysterio is really not the worst thing that could happen to you. The dude's
almost like
legend.
losing to Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
This feud between El Grande Americano, Alpha Academy, Chad Gable, and LWO has probably been the most interesting thing LWO has been a part of for the last year. So I'm here to see where it goes. So we can finally unmask Chad Gable.
Imagine it's Julius.
But they were both there at the same time, dude.
I don't know, man.
Post-match, Americano comes into the ring to take out Mysterio. and then also drops Dragon Lee before anything can be saved, and we go to commercial.
Yep. When we come back, the War Raiders are ready to face the New Day at WrestleMania and promise that it will be war. If WWE still did kickoff matches, this would be a perfect choice. It does not feel WrestleMania worthy. It didn't. This batch, this build, and once we get to WrestleMania, it even made it more so evident that it shouldn't have
I
been.
mean, only if they
WrestleMania.
could have like put together a TLC match for WrestleMania. That would have been cool.
Yeah, they announced one for SmackDown the week after Mania. Yeah, that was annoying, man. We were all hoping. We'll talk about it when we get to Mania. It just was annoying because we all thought, okay, if you're gonna put the Raw tag titles with the New Day out there on WrestleMania, we're gonna get something big. Big E's coming back, something. We didn't get any of that, so that sucked. We get a Triple H.
You're
Hall
gonna
of
hear
Fame
two
video.
different stories about WrestleMania when we get that far.
Yeah, probably. Triple H Hall of Fame video highlighting the Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker, with Shawn as the special guest referee. That match is incredible. Fucking good match between those two. And they were kind of towards the tail end of their careers, kind of there. They were slowing down, and they still put on an absolute banger of a match.
Yeah, and that leads us into our third match of the night: AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross. And if you're not
Push
following Karrion
him.
Kross on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, follow him. He is one hell of a character to follow.
Dude, just give him everything.
Yeah, this match finishes at 9:46. AJ Styles takes the win after he goes into his patented fireman's carry onto the knee, which then sets up the phenomenal forearm for the pin. This match was about as good as it was going to get for the two. Nothing crazy, as you don't want to risk any injuries to Styles on his way to WrestleMania. Get some TV time for Cross. He should get a lot more. But yeah, post-match, here is Logan Paul to insult both Sacramento in classic heel fashion and Styles before promising to win at WrestleMania. This involves a highlight reel that Paul put together for himself, which has Styles wanting to fight Paul right now. Cross gets back up to jump Styles, who lays him out, only to get caught with a big right hand, and that ends with the pulverizer, leaving Styles laying in the middle of the ring.
Such a clean finisher. Backstage again, we see Paul Heyman still waiting for Roman in the back, whom he hasn't seen since he gave Punk his word that he will, do what Punk is asking and be in his corner at WrestleMania. We are noted that Stephanie's Place is up next. Up next will be Stone Cold on Stephanie's Places. If you haven't watched those, ESPN Plus, check them out. Jey Uso hits the ring through the crowd, which is yeeting. Jey is not yeeting with them. Gets on the announce table, mic in hand, and says nothing at all. He puts the mic down because the crowd is eating too much. He then picks it back up, and he said what he said last week. Tonight he wanted to speak to his people. Everyone's asking, Oos, are you crashing out? Hell yeah, I'm crashing out. He is, but he's locked in, though. And after hearing what Gunther said, that he says, like, oh, Gunther's big mad, huh? He is afraid. And he will see him Saturday, so, hit his music. Yeah, Jey Uso. He didn't have much to say here. Did not have much to say. Kathy Kelly is shown with Braun Breaker in the back. She asks about how he's feeling heading into his biggest title defense of his career, but he can't get much out because he gets jumped by the Judgment Day.
Yeah, and that leads us into our fourth match of the night, Penta versus Finn Balor. This is actually the main event. Finish comes at 11:34 to a tune of a DQ when Judgment Day comes out for the distraction, while Balor hits another sling blade on Penta. And then Braun Breaker comes out, and Carlito is crawling away to avoid another spear, and this was hilarious. Breaker then jumps Balor for the DQ. These two put on what was a great match until the DQ, which is no surprise because both are believably talented. And that also leaves both of them not taking a pin leading into WrestleMania. Breaker comes off looking like a beast here, and everyone in the WrestleMania match got a time to be involved in this match, so it's really setting it up. And we'll find out on the weekend what happens. But Breaker losing the title here, not that big of a deal. No, if it does happen, not that big of a deal at all. There's probably bigger things in the cards for him.
That's called foreshadowing.
Post-match, the big brawl is on with Breaker spearing the Judgment Day and Penta hitting a massive dive onto everyone.
Yeah, this match before heading into WrestleMania was one of the ones I was really looking forward to. Io Sky's got a promo reminding Rhea and Bianca that she is the champion and she's the reason they're fighting in the first place. She's done being forgotten and pushed aside, and you have to go through her to win this title. And at Mania, you will never forget the name Io Sky, Women's World Champion. That's my champion. We get the WrestleMania cards presented to us. Here is what's coming up. All right, lock in here. Long final segment to close Raw here. Paul Heyman is in the back. Punk shows up and says, I've never seen you so stressed. And he puts his arm around him and says, look at my eyes. What do you see? Paul goes, the cult of personality? Roman does pull up, sees this, pauses, keeps on walking to the ring. Paul behind him saying, my tribal chief, my tribal chief. Punk, by the way, is shown loving every second of this. Paul has a mic in his hand, and he does the usual to try and give it to Roman, but Roman walks right past him, grabs a different mic. Paul is shooken up by this. The whole world can feel and hear that Sacramento loves and acknowledges their tribal chief, or betray their tribal chief, but not everyone is like you because, some would betray me. Guess who betrayed me, Sacramento? Wise man, how could you betray me? Then we get you fucked up chants that are loud. Roman continues to ask why. Paul can't get a word out because the crowd is booing him really hard here. Paul says, my tribal chief, it was not a betrayal. I paid back my debt. I paid back a favor that was owed. Roman says he must be confused here because the way favors work is usually you pay it back yourself, and the only one getting screwed over here is me. And if you know me, I ain't ever going to ask for a favor. He says he never asked for help or a favor, so why does he have to pay the tab for Paul's dumbass favor? He's kind of making some good points here. Seth Rollins hits the ring and he says, let's give it up for Roman because after a decade...
Has anybody at this point stopped to even think about how Paul Heyman feels about all this?
No, nobody cares about Paul Heyman and how he feels. Seth hits the ring and he says, let's give it up for Roman because after a decade, he's finally getting it and he's missing a little piece and it is too little too late, but Seth has to end him at Mania. Seth says the triple threat match is the most important of all time because the winner will define the future of the industry. And it can't be Roman because if it's people like you, this business will die. And it can't be Punk either because if we have punks running around, this business also dies. CM Punk chance break out because those people want the business to die, according to Seth Rollins. Seth always does what's best for business, and that little piece Roman can't find out, and that's favors aren't by choice. Says Heyman is the worst and a scumbag. Heyman is not in Punk's corner by chance, but by choice. It is not just a betrayal, but he's choosing. Roman should figure out why he's choosing Punk over him. Roman actually says Seth is right. You made your choice, and Roman has made his. He takes out Seth. Paul loves it, and he acknowledges Roman. But then Roman face mushes Paul here, shoves him down. Punk comes out. Him and Roman ball. Punk gets the upper hand, but Roman hits a big spear. And then Seth with the chair hits Roman because, history never dies. 2 stomps, 1 to Roman, 1 to Punk. Seth stands tall on the final WrestleMania, or the final Raw before WrestleMania.
Final WrestleMania?
Holy final crap. WrestleMania. According to John Cena, it is the final real WrestleMania because, Yeah, that's Monday Night Raw. Wild.
Yeah,
Wild.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good finish, and makes you wonder where they're going with it. Could Paul Heyman possibly side with Seth Rollins in the end of all of this? Who knows?
Probably, it's possible. Yeah, man. The ending of Raw really did light my the fire of oh shit. All right, this is gonna be a banger triple threat match between these guys. Can't wait to watch it. Should close out a awesome Saturday of WrestleMania. That's what I was looking forward to, and headed into WrestleMania, and yeah, we got a banger match between these 3. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean the final shows before WrestleMania are always tricky to navigate because you don't really want to add anything major to the weekend, but you do want to polish everything up. Turn that son of a bitch sideways and stick it right up people's asses. But they did that. The show could have fallen flat, but it actually came across really good. and they got done what they needed to get done. So, I mean, as far as a go home show for WrestleMania, it's about as good as you can get.
Yeah, hopefully everything holds up to the billing. Moving forward, it is the go home show for NXT and NXT's Stand and Deliver. Uh, Final show in NXT, if you know, they're on fire always.
Yeah, and we are live in Orlando before Stand and Deliver. Go home show here as well at the Capitol Wrestling Center as per usual, and we are kicking right away off with a number one contenders match for the North American title between Eddie Thorpe, Wesley, Ethan Page, and Lexis Kane. And Ricky Saints is here to watch it. So, good stuff. Finish comes when Lee is up top, but Kane shoves him to the floor. Everybody gets a chance to hit a whole bunch of stuff here. Kane with a Swanton bomb, covers Thorpe, Wesley. Thorpe breaks it up, and he hits his top rope elbow drop. He then goes for a DDT, but a Meteor by Lee takes out Eddie. Coronation by Kane on Lee. Twisted Grin by Page, and that gets it. It was just chaos in the last minute of the match.
Great match.
And it was delightfully fun, like absolutely fun to watch. Chaotic in all the right ways and a lot of fun spots. Page winning was obvious, so I mean it was going to happen. But they did a good job getting there. Page then gets on the mic and says that this makes him the man now. He says Ricky didn't want him to be the winner because everyone remembers the first time, and Page ruins Saints' first title win. Saints comes through the crowd behind Page and spears him. He poses over Page with the title.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that match. We get a nice video package here from Jordan Grace, head of Stand and Deliver, that kind of just runs through her career from the start. How she had quote unquote negative aura. She says she was trying to find her way in the world that didn't fit her. To summarize it, man, I remember watching Jordan when she first came in. She was a bigger girl, just a normal wrestler. Then she transformed herself. She fell in love with getting stronger, becoming focused on building her body like an A-bomb, man. She was obsessed with it, and it was the only way for her to feel above everyone else. She wanted the WWE Universe to say, WWE women are killing it. But have you seen Jordan in TNA? She forced her way into the conversation. She made people believe in her, and she has her biggest opportunity, she says, at Stand and Deliver. She knows what she has to do, and she will walk out as the champion. The NXT girls that are currently qualified for the NXT North American title match are arguing about who's going to walk out as champion. Sol Ruca, Zarya, which one of them is going to take it. Izzy Dame says she misses the old Kalani and says it doesn't matter. She's going to bring the title home because, no one does it like Kalani, of course, is what set Izzy off there. Kalani's change has been different. But other than that, just building towards that ladder match.
Yeah, and that leads us into another qualifier match for
there
match.
was 2 spots left to fill, I think, on the night. And this is obviously one, as you said.
Tatum Paxley versus Lola Vice. Lola Vice takes the win here at 9:56 after Tatum springboards into the ring, but Lola nails her with a kick. And then the good old spinning back fist finishes it for the pinfall. Yeah, there were a couple moments of sloppiness in this match. Blame it on Lola. Absolutely. Not Tatum. Tatum's infallible. But these two did work great against each other, and Tatum was surprisingly very competitive in this match.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a squash, and
like
not a squash, but like a mini squash. Good little match here.
We get the Julia vignette. All of the competitors in this fatal four-way for the next women's title get one tonight. Julia's promo as basically friendships don't last when it comes to the NXT Championship. Jada, she doesn't really know who she is, but she is confident, but she'll take her down. She said Jordan Grace, she's strong, but she's going to show her what strong style is. Last year, she introduced herself at Stand Deliver. This year, she says she will walk out as NXT Women's Champion. Trick Williams arrives. He survived the parking lot, so good on him. It's kind of scary in that NXT parking lot. Ava's in the back with all the ladies that did not qualify for the ladder match. and announces a triple threat tag team match. The winner will get a shot at the women's tag title on NXT Post Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, and Roxy's there and she's pissed off because she's not even
Yeah.
on the card, and Ava takes a shot at her losing on SmackDown. But if Roxy gets a partner, she'll be in the match and it'll become a 4-way.
She gets her partner.
Third match of the night is the NXT Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders Gauntlet match. First out, we got Hank and Tank versus Tyson DuPont and Tariq Igwe. Hank and Tank probably they're not going to run this whole thing, are they?
Coast to coast like butter and toast. I don't know.
What the fuck was that? The finish of the first match comes when a meet in the middle pancake puts away Igwe for the 3 count. Out next is Brooks Jensen and Nico Vance. Hank and Tank move on after they reverse a double team from Brooks and Vance for the 3 count. Next team out is the No Quarter Catch crew. This was probably my favorite portion of the match. They went really well for a while here.
Yeah.
But Tank does get the roll up on Tavian for the 3 count, and then finally out is Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura. And yeah, Hank and Tank pull out the fucking clean sweep here and win with a roll up on Briggs. And Inamura is just too late for the save, and Hank and Tank are going to stand and deliver. They finally figured it out. They beat all the teams they lost to over the past 4 weeks.
Because they are them. They are themselves.
Yeah, none of this was bad. And, kudos to them running the distance.
Yeah.
It had, in any gauntlet match, there's going to be moments where it kind of slows down. But as far as it goes, this was a pretty good gauntlet match. And yeah, it's a feel-good moment for Hank and Tank to move on. And, maybe we get another feel-good moment of the week.
We got up next Sophie Turner. Or Sophie. What? Who's Sophie? Yeah, Sophie Turner, sorry. I thought it was Stevie.
It is Stevie.
Your notes have Sophie?
And I'm sorry, you don't take your own notes for shows?
No. I was going to say something. Your notes have Sophie, and my notes have Sophie. So we're both wrong. It was Stevie Turner with Callie Armstrong.
I don't fix my notes for your parts.
No, you're missing the point I'm making. Your notes that you send, you have Sophie Turner, right? The ones that I typed out for myself, I also have Sophie. I don't know how we both did that.
I don't proofread your shit.
Oh my God, you're missing my point. Stevie Turner is with Callie Armstrong, and she says she'll be in the main event of WWE Evolve next week. Robert Stone, of course, hypes up Hank and Tank here, but there's a note that there's still that one spot that needs to be filled in that for the final qualifier match, and there's a mystery. Who knows who that person could be? We see Obafemi. He arrived, and by the way, he also is surviving the party lot, but Dark State is behind them. Jada Parker, we get a promo about where she came from and how she got to NXT, and she's the only homegrown NXT talent in the match. Somebody posted when Jada was breaking down where she was from, and I don't know if it's in yours. No, it's not mine either. I didn't write her hometown down, but somebody posted, so Jada's from the same place as me. Girl, this is not a bad place to live. This is good. I was like, damn, why you had to call Jada out like that? So next we get, and all I wrote for this man is Stax and the family. They pull up in the parking lot. There's no Tony because this is Stax' call, and this street. I think this was the conversation I had with you. I was like, do I write this stuff down or do you want to write this stuff down? Because I was like, is it a match? Is it not? But here goes. The street fight is just a heavily edited mess to start. It spills into the back area. It's a mess. Lots of brawling. We get a fire extinguisher. Back to the parking lot. Luca's getting choked out on the hood of a car. Tony does show up with a crowbar and he beats up Dark State. And this is so edited. Like when Tony hits them with the crowbar, you hear like the bink, bink, bink extra. The cops do show up after all this. Tony said he called them and it was his people. The cops are his people. He's got the cops in his wagon. He asked what Stax was doing. He said he had a plan, but Tony says he was doing business and it's not being done on the street. It's happening at Stand and Deliver because that's what we do. He knows what's best for the family, and he tells Stax not to question him again. Stephanie Vacour is back in her home country of Chile, on the news of all things too as well, representing the best women's division in the world on her local news station. Just saying, best women's division in the world. She said it. You know it. It's true. We see her family, and she's with the fucking mayor of the city as well, just hanging out. Her dad being gifted replicas of her titles. Just a really feel good moment. Cool to see there. Kelly Kincaid is with Hank and Tank, who are over the moon to be going to Stand and Deliver, and they've learned who they are and who they are not. Frax team show up and say congratulations, can't wait. Nathan Frazier, though, does not shake hands here because, that's kind of his character, and just Nathan blows him off. Stand and Deliver card is fully revealed, almost. Andre Chase is with the boys in the back, and Thea Hale shows up and says hello. And, the conversation of everybody from Chase U is ruined. And Thea's like, you didn't ruin me. Go do your thing, Mr. Chase. And just a feel good moment. Thea Hale is back on TV.
Yeah, which they ruined before she actually came back on TV.
Yeah, they did. They totally ruined it. Wait, am I missing something here? I think I am. Did I skip something? The Fraxium part. I'm sorry. I did skip that. Did I?
No, you talked about it. What? Are you okay?
Fraxium walk-in. Oh, Roxanne says even Hank and Take are going to Stand and Deliver, and she doesn't get to. Ava asks if she found a tag team partner, and she said she's going to be her own partner. Ava says that's not how this shit works. Cora walks in and asks if Roxanne needs, a partner, and all you have to do is say sorry. And I actually do have that in my notes. I just completely skipped over it. Sandra, yep, we're good now. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right, though. They did spoil it and put up next in the bottom corner Thea Hale versus Carmen when it was supposed to be Carmen versus question marks. Kind of ruined it. It would have made RK even more. We would have got more of a pop watching it live. But fuck. They fucked it.
I knew about it beforehand, anyways.
So
Fourth match.
T. Then you lied to my face.
What?
You lied to my face.
Well, yeah, they spoiled it. I knew about it beforehand.
Okay. I'll let that slide. Because you checked her Instagram while we were watching.
Yeah, and they spoiled it before. So I knew before she appeared that she was going to appear. And I also knew before because I checked her Instagram. And I'm like, she didn't do her chaotic coffee adventures today. Do you not remember the conversation? She does her chaotic coffee adventures every week.
I know.
And she was doing them on Tuesdays because she wasn't on NXT. And she didn't do it that Tuesday. So there was no chaotic coffee events. Okay? Anyways. Fourth match, North American Championship ladder qualifier. Carmen Petrovich versus Thea Hale. Yeah, Thea just was all over Carmen here. Press slam into a senton, into the coffin drop. She takes aim and hits a twisting double underhook. Power bomb? I don't even know what they call that. It's kind of cool. And then she goes into the Kimura to finish it off. Yeah, I guess, Carmen, you're back to being squashed by,
everybody.
everybody. And, welcome back, Thea.
Yeah, it was good to see Thea. She deserves to get a good little push here. We get the final face-off between Trick, Oba, and Javon to close the show here. Trick comes out first, and he says he's been doing a lot of thinking about who he is. Trick says you either die here or live long enough to be the villain, and I'm still living. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and Oba's head is heavy, but he's going to take that crown on Saturday. Oba shows up and calls Trick a broken record over and over and over. You are the only one still whooping that trick. Oba says the spotlight is moving along, and I suggest you go with it. Javon comes out, tells him to shut up and says something else because he speaks for, or tells Trick to shut up and say something else because he speaks for the people, and I'll be honest, we're all tired of it. He dismisses Trick and talks about how he's going to be the man, and he's going to main event WrestleMania one day. Oba, he calls Javon a child. They brawl, but when it's all said and done, Javon stands tall, and he holds the title over a knocked out Oba and Trick. Oh, don't ever do that. But that's it, man. That's how they lead into Stand and Deliver. I enjoyed the show. NXT, it was the different It was, but it wasn't a different NXT. They kind of took the page out of Raw's book, where let's not do anything crazy. We got the card set in stone. Finish a couple qualifier matches and let's rock. So, yeah, good NXT.
That's the ongoing theme of the week. Matches are fine, segments are fine, but it's clearly obvious we need to get Stand and deliver. And, of course, welcome back, Thea.
Yes, welcome back, Thea Hale. Up next is SmackDown, and I will never lie to the people. I did not get a chance to watch SmackDown this past week. Busy with racetracks opening and stuff. I did watch the highlights and watched a couple of things. So, but we are the man. We do what we do. We're gonna break it down for you guys here. SmackDown. Let's do it.
I'll always lie to the fans. I don't care. SmackDown is live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. We got Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett on commentary. We are officially less than a day away from WrestleMania, and that means it is time for the final push towards the biggest show of the year. In this case, we do have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale as per usual on the SmackDown before WrestleMania, and we have a tag team title match, which one could have been on WrestleMania weekend, and then what they announced afterwards could have been on WrestleMania weekend. So, and yeah, Motor City Machine Guns are challenging the Street Profits. So, let's get to it. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga are arriving to the arena, but LA Knight gets the upper hand on them and, takes out Tonga with a little cardboard slam onto the arm, Larry Zbyszko style.
Shout out to the legend. Seth Rollins is off to get us going here, though, and he says he's not used to being on SmackDown, but he'll try the catchphrase anyway. Naturally, the fans are going to chant for CM Punk here, so Rollins does the CM Punk sit down. There's an OTC chant, but Rollins would rather talk about Punk first, and the fans are clearly okay with this. Those chants for 10 years brought Punk back to the ring, but it wasn't a WWE ring. It wasn't for the fans, but rather because someone wrote him a big fat check. And then after he burned that bridge, he came back to WWE because they wrote him another check. Rollins says, "Tell me when he's telling lies," which was he lying?
No, because Vince was still in WWE, and CM Punk hates Vince.
It's very true.
If Triple H was there and they had that conversation, if this was 3 years prior when Triple H took over, maybe he never goes to AEW.
That's very true. That's very true. The reality is that Punk does not care about anyone, and the reality is that Roman Reigns only cares about himself. Reigns is private jet, Mr. Private Jet, Mr. I pick my opponents because Reigns is always about making himself look bigger and better. Every year, Roman keeps getting treated as the biggest thing in the world, but there were always some CM Punk chants. While this was happening, Rollins was working every day, sacrificing his body. Last year at WrestleMania, he was there despite his knee hanging on by a thread. His stepfather died of cancer. Now the fans can sing Rollins' song as he walks out, as he talks about how the story ends at WrestleMania, where he will lay it all on the line to move this business forward. And yes, this is a spoiler. This was a pretty straightforward promo. Rollins just let everybody know, putting himself over here. We get a rundown of the WrestleMania card, and we get a video package for Andre the Giant.
I'm going to correct Kurt on something. I don't know if Seth Rollins' dad actually died or not, but he was dying, he said.
Oh, I was just reading from the notes here. I said his stepfather dying of cancer.
No, he said died. But anyways, nonetheless, just want to clarify. He said dying, not died. I don't know if he died. He may have. I honestly don't know. But we don't want to send out any false information out there in case it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
First match tonight is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. We got Rey Fenix, Shinsuke Nakamura, Andrade, Otis, Berto, Angel, Kit Wilson, Elton Prince, Akira Tozawa, Santos Escobar, Carmelo Hayes, Carlito, Julius Creed, R-Truth, Brutus Creed, Joaquin Cruz, Del Toro.
Nope. You said Joaquin Cruz. Joaquin Wild.
No, Joaquin Cruz, Del Toro. Miz, Karrion Kross, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, Ludwig Kaiser, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, Chad Gable, not to be mistaken with El Grande Americano, and Dragon Lee.
No Omos.
Who cares?
I do.
Okay.
You're not an Homo sapien?
That sounds like a slur.
Homo sapiens.
Yeah, this match was wild as you expect. Had a lot of cool moments. Karrion Kross actually had a good little run in there. Match
Big
starts
pop.
with R-Truth in the middle and just nobody wants wrestling. So that was fun.
The best.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go through this whole thing. It was just chaos.
No.
Andrade goes for a springboard, and why jump on the ropes when it's over the top ropes, match, but they do it, and it always happens. And Hayes tossing it out. Andrade probably had his cleanest back elbow I've ever seen him do. Carmelo wins here. Yeah, I guess. I mean, usually up and comers win this match. It's a little showcase for them, but overall, I can't really think of too many that have gone on to great things. So we'll see.
Man, that's right. I don't know. I think the very first winner was Claudio Castagnoli, which for some reason I'm spacing what his name was in WWE. Cesaro won it. Matt Hardy won it with the help of Bray Wyatt, or Bray Wyatt won it with the help of Matt Hardy. I forget which way that was. That's true. I don't even know who won it last year, to be honest with you.
Last year was Big Bronson Reed.
Oh, yeah. Missing him. We get a Hall of Fame video that broke down the Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker. The same one, by the way, we saw on Raw. Sit down interview with Charlotte, who doesn't like where her feud with Tiffany Stratton has gone, but she's ready to be on the big stage. That's how you make things happen. Rhea Ripley comes out for a chat. This is going to be her 6th WrestleMania, and she's always in a title match, but this feels like the most important. She lost her title right before Mania, and this Sunday she will win back what she lost. Io Sky, of course, interrupts. Before she can say anything, Bianca Belair cuts her off. She wants that title, but Naomi comes out to interrupt as well. Naomi's been trying to talk to Bianca, but she wanted to handle this in private. Instead, though, we got to do this in public because Jade wasn't there, and she's here too. Ripley gets in Jade's face, but Naomi knocks Jade into her. The big brawl. Big brawl. Io Sky hits a moonsault to take out everybody. And then American-made mock Ray Phoenix, but Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio come in, and we get that tease. Ray says we should have a 6-man tag match, and guess what? We're going to get a 6-man tag match.
Which Ray said that? Because there's 2 Rays talking here.
Mysterio.
Oh,
Phoenix.
I thought it was Phoenix.
Yeah, it was
okay.
Phoenix. It was Phoenix.
Yeah, you can't say Ray and Ray and then Ray and Ray
tough. It's
without
tough. Too much. Ray and Ray. Ray's the son.
Second match tonight. Tag team title match. Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Profits. This match is only going in one way, and it always will until they get to a bigger match down the road, maybe. Who knows? But double disqualification after DIY interfere. This match was actually, it started off slow, but they really got going in the last 3 minutes of the match, and the interference it sucked because it brought it to a halt. But I mean, they really only had so much time in the first place. Normally this would set up a ladder match of some sort at WrestleMania. That's usually how they'd be like, oh, you're on tomorrow's Sunday's whatever show.
I thought they were going to do it,
but they didn't do it. So I guess, it gives them something to build off for the next couple weeks on SmackDown, I guess.
Yeah.
Also DIY decided to steal the titles and just run away with them because they were stolen from them, apparently.
Yeah, and they're heels. That's the heel thing to do here. Chelsea Green and the Secret Service, they served Nick Aldis with an official complaint. Aldis says there is a complaint, so tonight's 6-woman tag match is now a singles match. Chelsea Green against Zelina Vega, with the Secret Service being barred from ringside. Of course, this causes a bunch of screaming to ensue. It is announced that Cardi B is hosting SummerSlam. Nick Aldis cuts off DIY from leaving with the titles. The Guns and the Profits come in, and Aldis takes the titles. Guess what? Next week, not at WrestleMania, next week on SmackDown, it'll be a TLC match for the titles. That's huge. But why not at WrestleMania?
Well, they had way better matches lined up for WrestleMania.
That's right. New Day versus War Raiders was definitely primed to be a big deal. Randy Orton comes out to
I
talk.
could give you a lot more than just that one match, but okay.
A lot of the matches. It's very hard to top a good TLC match at WrestleMania. As of right now, he does not have a WrestleMania opponent, Randy Orton says. He says his father was at the first WrestleMania, and 20 years later, he made his WrestleMania debut at the Garden. Try again. Try again's in your notes? I don't have notes. I didn't watch the show. I'm just going with you. This says try again. Was his debut not at the Garden?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just reading the notes, man. He's going to show up on Sunday in his gear and with just the right amount of baby oil, so anyone in the back can come test themselves. Just be ready for an RKO. He cuts and gets down to the point. Damian Priest that is shown. I remember watching this on my phone. They get in a nice fight at the WrestleMania kickoff event. Priest is tired of McIntyre being a victim, but tomorrow Priest is going to beat him so badly that he wishes his future endeavors. And then guess what? The smoky vignettes, they keep on coming, and it is announced that next week on SmackDown, this person will arrive. Probably Aleister Black, but not confirmed, but probably Aleister Black. I don't know if you can get with your sources, RK, that or do your detective work that you did to get to the Rey Fenix conclusion. Maybe get on that before we get to Friday. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably Malachi Black, actually.
Okay. Is that what your detective work is coming up with? I know you took a couple vignettes to figure out that it was Rey Fenix with the whole tattoos and stuff, but just wasn't sure if you knew. You're a hell of a detective.
Third match of the night: Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green. Yeah, this match was a quick one, 3 minutes 34 seconds. Super code red from the top rope gives Vega the upset win. This really didn't have any time to go anywhere, and you can never really have a champion lose a clean fall, but they did. But it's weird. Anyways, yeah, I don't have a fucking clue what they're doing with this, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with the U.S. title or the women's. Well, now we know where they're going with the IC women's title, but we'll see what happens. We get a look at the Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker at WrestleMania, the first match they had. LA Knight comes out to talk. He talks about trying to take out Jacob Fatu's relatives, so it's 1-on-1 at WrestleMania. The U.S. title means the most in WWE because he's around the most, so Solo Sikoa can get out here right now and take his ass whooping. Yeah.
And that leads us to our fourth match. There was actually a lot of matches on SmackDown somehow. But anyways, nonetheless, they were all pretty short. LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa. Finish came after a DDT connects onto Solo, but Jacob Fatu runs in to beat Knight down for the DQ. Again, no time to do this match, so I really don't see the point of having this match, but odds are someone was going to run in and save Solo in this, either being Tama or Jacob. Obviously, Tama was taken out earlier in the night, so he wasn't there. All that stuff. But anyways, nonetheless, who knows what that leads into WrestleMania, but you do know you're going to get like 14 moonsaults and 22 Samoan drops to get the title win. Knight and Fatu's match is already set up, so this was just one last push to really get it going. Post-match, Braun Strowman runs in for the save, and it's time to do the tag team match thing again, which starts right away. Fifth match, Braun Strowman, LA Knight versus Solo and Jacob. This was just another 4-minute match. Everything breaks down. Strowman is sent over the announcer's table, which was a wild spot. And then, with Fatu outside, Knight hits the BFT to pin Sikoa. And, yeah. Even though in 4.5 minutes, they got a lot done in 4.5 minutes in this match. It was better than the previous one. And yeah, Knight gets one last win before he's probably going to lose to 18 million Samoan drops and 22 billion moonsaults.
I never thought I'd see the day where you turn into one of the world's biggest haters, but yet here we are. We get a preview of Tiffany Stratton talking to Wade Barrett with the full interview that will be airing on the WrestleMania kickoff show. Saying, she's tired of being taken care of, so she's retaining this title at WrestleMania. They did have a lot of matches.
Yeah, it was weird, but they were all short. So
yeah.
6 match LWO, Rey Fenix versus American Made. Finish came when Rey Fenix does a springboard arm drag to set up a running Hurricanrana. And then Dragon Lee is back in to drop down Julius. Top rope Meteora gives Phoenix the pin at 9 minutes and 10 seconds. Mysterio went out of this match and it was just ringside for a good portion of it. It wasn't looking good for him to show up at WrestleMania. Obviously, he tried to, but couldn't do it. And Rey Fenix taking his place just makes sense.
Yeah, he did.
Basically, it ended up being a handicap match because it was pretty early, actually, that he got taken out.
We get the video package for Roman versus Punk versus Rollins with a nice little music video treatment. What was the song title again for this? What was the band?
This is Machine Head song.
Machine Head song. Cody Rhodes comes out for his final face-to-face confrontation with John Cena. Before Rhodes can get a word out, Cena gets to the point in a hurry here. He tells him to shut his mouth, kid, because this is going to be his last WrestleMania. No one has had the courage to finish their career like John has, to the point where no one believes he's really leaving. Everyone else comes back because they all need these people, but Cena has happiness without them. Last year, Cody won the title, but Cena told him that it was going to get heavier every day. Cena defeated Rhodes when Rhodes said no to The Rock because it was over then. On Sunday, the title reign comes to an end when Cena proves that the fans don't matter. Rhodes has been wanting to be somebody, and on Sunday, he will find out that he is just a kid playing in a man's world. Cody brings up Cena saying that he doesn't bury talent, but there is a graveyard of people who would disagree. Cena doesn't know the wrestlers' names, but the reality is Cena is out of time. He's paler than Sting at Starrcade in 1997. I don't know. Do you know the context behind that?
No idea.
Yeah, I didn't know what the context was when I listened to it. But it's 2025 and he still can't wrestle. Cena says the fans don't know what they want and he doesn't have to wrestle to beat Cody. Cena goes for a shot to the face in an AA, but it gets reversed into a crossroads. They were really, getting the intensity up here. They didn't really see anything new, but there it is. And we get one more WrestleMania rundown. Here we go, leading towards it. That was the final SmackDown, the go-home show before Big Mania weekend coming up. And I was looking forward to it. Looking forward to WrestleMania, and they were really doing a good job of building what was coming.
Well, apparently Sting and Hogan had a controversial match at Starrcade 97. I don't know the whole story of it, but it looks like originally Sting was to lose the match after a fast pinfall count by the referee. But he ended up winning the match after applying the Scorpion Deathlock. I have to read into that, what that's all about.
Yeah, I didn't know what that line meant. That was for the sickos. Yeah. What do you think? SmackDown, kind of similar.
For the sickos. Why would it be for the sickos?
It was a joke.
WCW is way better than anything AEW has done.
They preach, brother, preach. Another SmackDown of building. Let's not do anything crazy. Hopefully nobody gets hurt,
Well, somebody did get hurt.
Yeah, sadly. Any final thoughts from SmackDown?
Yeah, Rey Mysterio got hurt.
He did get hurt. You're right. That sucks. All right, man. Let's keep it pushing. It's time for WrestleMania weekend itself, and it is time to break down what happened at NXT's Stand and Deliver. Where are my notes at? Got them up here. Not much for me to add here, because really on all the cards, it's just kind of how it goes, man. It's all matches and pretty match heavy. But I think we were both in agreement. NXT delivers on Stand and Deliver. Ha ha ha. But I can give you a rundown. I watched. You did not. I think we were waiting. You were on the way back. You didn't tune in for the countdown pre-show deal. There was only one match on it. Gigi Dolan, Tatum Paxley. They won that fatal 4-way number one contenders elimination match. Roxanne walked out on Cora Jade in the middle of this match. So that's what happened on the pre-show, man. It was the match was actually pretty good. Pretty good spots in it. That saw Gigi taking a wild dive on everybody.
Yeah, no, I did not watch it. I'm not really one for kickoff shows anyways. We are live today, tomorrow in the morning. Yeah.
All week.
Las Vegas. And we are kicking off with our North American Championship match. What a way to kick off the show. Great match. Ricky Saints, the champion, defending against Ethan Page. Finish comes when Saints tries to climb the buckles, but his back is hurt, and it prevents him from gaining momentum. Page climbs up there with him. Saints flips over and hits a stalling sunset powerbomb for the 1-2 kick out.
Oh.
Confidence breaker from Page. Ego's edge. 1-2 kick out.
Oh.
Saints is still in this one. Twisted grin reverse. Saints with the spear, and he connects with the Rochambeau to pick up the pinfall win. And yeah, your winner and still WWE NXT North American champion, Ricky Saints. This match went about 12 minutes and 44 seconds. It felt grounded and traditional in the best possible way a match could be. Really strong encounter from these guys who have tremendous chemistry. They got to run this back again for sure.
Oh, I'll echo that sentiment right there, man. Run it back. These two work well together. Ricky Saints has got aura, as does Ethan Page, but they really put on a good show and set the tone, man. Set the tone for what would hopefully, maybe it is a great stand and deliver.
Yeah, and that leads us right into our second match, WWE NXT Tag Team Championship.
One thing real quick, I just want to give an alert to the people. This is what we would call a banger alert.
Fraxium champions defending against Hank and Tank. Finish comes when Tank is fighting in the ring on his own. Hank was taken out. Enziguri from Axiom, and then a Spanish fly off the top connects, which was fucking wild. Then Phoenix Splash from Frazier for the 1-2, but Tank is back and he breaks it up. Great near fall there. I thought for sure like that was it.
Yep.
Axiom with some kicks. Tank lariats him down. Sling Blade from Frazier and another Phoenix Splash misses. A black hole slam from Hank. Tank with a suicide dive, which was fucking crazy too. Hank and Tank getting fired up. The double splash and the assisted powerbomb connects for the 1, 2, 3, and we have new WWE NXT Tag Team Champions. Fucking real match. Unreal. This was literally sink or swim for Hank and Tank, and they swam for their fucking lives here, man. They overachieved. They going in this, like, who beats fucking Fraxium? The question we've been asked for months. Hank and Tank wasn't even on the fucking radar.
Nope.
Lots of crazy fucking action in this match. Great near falls. Hank and Tank made you believe in them. Big, huge success. Crowd bought into the win in the big way. Fraxium lose nothing, but Hank and Tank are absolutely made from this win. I mean, unreal, man. Unreal. Like, feel good moment for these boys. They fucking did it. Post match, Hank and Tank try to shake hands with Fraxium, but Axiom shoves away the hand. He's like, "Nah, we're gonna give you a hug, bro." Yeah, it was a good moment. It was a lot of fun there. That match was fantastic. Everything was great. Those boys deserve that shit.
You brought it up. We have asked the question for months now: who beats Fraxium? And the answer is Hank and Tank. And honestly, any team, when done the right way, they built Hank and Tank up as a feel-good story, and you felt it throughout the match with the near falls and just the build. And when you got to the finish and they really picked the win, it felt right. This was such an awesome moment. And they 13 minutes, about 14 minutes of match time, they took advantage of every second of this match, man. What a match. Hank and Tank are the new champions. What's next for Fraxium? I don't know. Main roster. Whatever they do, they're going to be great. But Hank and Tank worthy of this moment. Killed it. There is some stuff that happened, I guess. Here, Sarah Schreiber is talking with Penn from Penn and whoa, mind fart, help. Teller. Sorry, dude. Jesus. With celebrity.
I'm trying to get my nicotine fix here, and I don't need the fans to hear the.
So it's showing hyping up their Vegas Magic show. Lexus King shows up and says Magic does not exist. Penn advises King to keep the Heritage Cup safe. He has a cage for it, and he's like, "Hey, Lexus, here you go. Put it in there." They lock the Heritage Cup in a cage, and they roll a cover over it, and then they rip the cover off. And Teller's there, who hits a little. The cup by the way, is gone. So a little yeet from Taylor. There you go, magic, man. It's magic.
Yeah, who saw that one coming? But I love Penn and Teller. Their shows are a lot of fun. Fool Us is a wicked fun show to watch. Leads us into our third match of the night, the WWE NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match. We got Zarya, Kalani Jordan, Izzy Dame, Sol Ruka, Lola Vice, and the returning Thea Hale. Returning for the second time of returning. She already returned, but she returned again. She returns
return.
every week.
PLE return.
Yeah, this match, I mean, the first ladder match to crown the first North American title, women's North American title, was better. This had a lot of sketchy, not so great moments in it, but we got what we came to see. You knew it was happening. We got the Soul Snatcher to Dame off the ladder, and then another Soul Snatcher to Hale and Lola Vice, like a double Soul Snatcher. It was unreal. Sol Ruka climbs to the top, and she retrieves the title. There's a good moment here where, Zarya and Sol were at the top of the ladder, and they look at each other, and they're just like, we got to do this. And they start going at it. It was good stuff. This match went around 15 minutes. Like I said, had some rough spots. It came across pretty messy, but there was enough fun moments in it to keep it engaging. The finishing sequence absolutely saved the whole match, though. Sol Ruka looked fantastic in the closing moments of this match. You can have bad moments and still have great moments and come out with a decent match. It wasn't a 5-star banner, but man, it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was good. Soul, I think going into it, we both had thought if it's the main two to potentially win it were Thea Hale and Sol Ruka. They made the most sense. Soul gets it done. Like you said, the Soul Snatcher she gave at the finish and the final push of that match was fantastic. Sol Ruka, technically a double champion right now. She is the women's speed champion, as well as the NXT Women's North American champion now. I enjoyed the match, but you actually nailed it when you said it. It wasn't as good as the inaugural ladder match for the title, but it still did well, and it did its job, and it was a good match. Sarah Schreiber is in the back with Gigi and Tatum, along with Shotzi, who's there. Shotzi, was she off TV for a little bit? I don't remember.
She has a lot of side projects that she does. She's always
true.
busy on Instagram doing a lot of stuff. She's into like the horror scene a lot and stuff, and she's
true.
always doing something. She's putting on. She's always doing something.
Yeah,
check out her Instagram. It's a lot of fun, actually.
Gigi and Tatum, they did win on the Countdown show. They've been busting their asses lately, and they're ready to bring those tag team titles back home to NXT. They say they're going to be the new champs. Stay tuned.
That leads us into the fourth match, a heartbreaking match when we get to the end of it. The D'Angelo family versus Dark State. Finish comes when Stacks gets the crowbar and he takes out Shaquan Sugars. Spinebuster from Tony. Tony and Stacks hug it out, and Tony turns his back to Stacks as Stacks is he going to turn here? He's thinking about hitting him. He thinks better of it, hands the crowbar to the ref, but then the low blow comes, takes out D'Angelo. Stacks leaves the ring, and Dark State hits the triple powerbomb for the 1, 2, 3. This match went 13 minutes, 11 seconds. It was a good match. We all saw the turn coming. It's been teased for the last few weeks. They played it off very effectively. I don't know if Dark State actually comes out of this match looking better, but they are intriguing to see where it goes. But yeah, this was all about D'Angelo's breakup, D'Angelo family breakup here. Yeah, Sugar's got it, man. He is fucking good. His energy is infectious. He's got tons of it. He just oozes aura in the ring. But yeah, in the end, it was all about the D'Angelo family. That's what this match was for. The turn came, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. I mean, a lot of things can go. Crazy shit's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about NXT here in a minute. But yeah, what's funny about this match is we just watched it, and on Saturday, and my mind's spacing out with this match a little bit. I'm forgetting a couple things because the only thing I can think about is the turn. It does overshadow, as you said, Dark State's win mainly here, but I love the fact that you brought up Saquon Sugars. Big fan of his. He put on some absolute bangers on the independent scene with Javon Evans. So hopefully their paths cross again. But Whew, the D'Angelo family, the turn, the look on Rizzo's face, just pleading with Stacks, why'd you do it? And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing where this story ends up. Sarah Schreiber in the back, she catches up with Hank and Tank. They say the output matches the input. When you join NXT, you're joining for moments like this. Tank knew he'd put the work in, but he had no idea that he would find and be doing it with his brother. They're gonna enjoy this moment, man. Like we talked about it when we broke it down. Such a feel good moment with these two security guards, man. From security guards to NXT champions.
Yeah, and the build up to it was what mattered. They
Yes,
were losing match and like, what the hell's going on? Then the gauntlet match, they redeemed themselves, and then they got this. It shows what a good story behind a title finishing in a title run can do.
and that's what we talked about. Who could beat for Axiom? A team that had a hell of a story to get there, just like Hank Tank.
100%. Fifth match of the night, we got the WWE NXT Women's Championship, and they fucking stole the show. Stephanie Vaquer, champion, defending against Julia, Jada Parker, and Jordan Grace. Finish comes when Grace hits the back fist to Julia. Beast mode is absolutely activated on her, but no. Parker hoists Julia up. Julia counters for the close 2 count. Gourd buster on Julia. Running knee. Cover. Vaquer hits the spiral tap to break it up. SVB connects on Parker. 1, 2, 3. Just pure chaos to finish out this match. Everybody was going at it. The fact that they were able to stop Jordan Grace going into beast mode was ridiculous. Julia was almost right there to break up the pinfall, but just could not quite reach. Yep. Absolutely great stuff here. Stephanie Vaquer defends her title in absolute spectacular fashion. 60 minutes, 29 seconds. This match absolutely cooked. Everybody looked fucking great in this match. Just an exhibition for 4 absolute pros in the business. Constant action, no letdown, constant going. They nailed the time they were given. Impressive for Parker from where she came from a year ago, where we're like, no, stop, to like she belonged in the same tier as these women. It's unreal. But in the end, Vaquer stood out the most, though. She has a bright fucking future in the WWE.
Yeah, I'll mention it when we get to NXT, but I'll mention it now as well. Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and honestly Jordan Grace as well. But the Julia Stephanie Vaquer dynamic, they came in together, and they're going to link throughout the history of WWE as they continue their careers. This match, I love the fact that you mentioned Jada here. Jada's a future NXT Women's Champion. It's going to happen. When, I don't know. Probably will be when Stephanie, Julia, and Jordan aren't there. Or she takes it off of one of those 3 as one of those 3 goes up to the main roster, something along those lines. But she should be an NXT Women's Championship. She put in the work. She deserved it. I love this match. I love all these women in this match. Killed it, man. Absolutely killed it. Lexus King is in the back searching for his Heritage Cup. He has to stagehand, and no one can find it anywhere. We see Sarah running after Channing checks Lorenza here. Luca runs up as well. Stack says he's going to explain everything later and tells Luca to keep his phone close, that he'll talk to him on Tuesday.
And it leads us into the final match of the night, main event, WWE NXT Championship. Obafemi defending against Trick Williams and Javon Evans. This was a great match. Somehow still overshadowed by the match before it. The women's match absolutely cooked. Absolutely cooked.
I thought they just both cooked, man. I don't know about that. I get where you're going with that, but fuck, back-to-back absolute bangers. Absolute bangers.
I still think the women's match was better. But nonetheless, Femi wins with a fall from Grace on Williams, and then another fall from Grace to Evans to pick up the 1-2-3. Obafemi defends his title. They went for just about 17 minutes, 16 minutes and 56 seconds. They delivered here. They over-delivered. They exceeded expectations. Javon Evans, he's making a name for himself in a big way here. Everyone got to look good with some phenomenal near falls. Like, absolute, like, who's winning this match? Going into it, any one of them probably could have won it. You're high on Evans. I would say he was the least likely to win this match, but His time will come. He's gone a long way in the last 8-9 months.
Mhm.
Thrilling offense from all of them. Great main event. I still think the women's match should have been the main event. It was better, but it was close. It was close. It was really close. And yeah, Obafemi's celebrating with the title to end out the show.
Yeah, this match, you hit all the things. There's nothing else for me to add. All what I could say comparing the two matches, the women's match and the men's match, either one of them could have main evented. Both were phenomenal matches. All of the individuals killed it. And the biggest thing I can say from this stand and deliver card as we close things out talking about it is we talk about it in such a short form. Go watch stand and deliver. Watch this year's, watch the years prior, go watch all the takeovers. We can't do it justice by talking into a camera and going back and forth about it. We just enjoy doing it. Watch it for yourself. These matches were so good. It was a hell of a stand and deliver. And like the lowest point, the I can't even tell you a bad match. There wasn't a bad match. You could say the D'Angelo Dark State match was bad, but not really. Not really. We had the story in that one. The women's North American ladder match, sure, you could say it was maybe the lowest point, but not really because they delivered and there was cool moments. Such a card. I loved it. Stand and deliver. NXT delivering again.
Yeah, I mean, expectations were set for WrestleMania weekend, and they were definitely exceeded with this show. The Fraxim Hank and Tank match had no right being that fucking good, but it was. They killed it. Hank and Tank, gaining a big following after that performance. Javon Evans' breakout performance in the main event. Aerial display is impressive, and the fact that he was able to use it so effectively against Obafemi and his size is ridiculous.
Which, can I say, cut you off just 1 second? Does that say a lot about Obafemi's ability to just sell this shit as well?
Obafemi's an absolute star in the making. He is going to dominate on the main roster one day. It's guaranteed. When he said he's going to be main eventing WrestleMania, he's not fucking wrong. He will be. Yeah, that triple threat match. I mean, it's close, but it's hard to believe. Like after the fifth match, that they would come out and still put on such a great match and not. I feel it was a little overshadowed, but I mean, you ask anybody, it deserved to be there. Ask me, maybe not, but who cares? They were both fantastic matches. Vekera defended her title in absolute fantastic form. Just everybody got over in that match. Nobody comes out of that match looking bad, and that is just great. Stephanie Vekera is just on such a roll right now. The ladder match was probably the lowest point of the show, and that's taken away from it. But I mean, the other matches, everything was just so good. And even the D'Angelo soap opera was just so good too. They got there and they did it in a very effective way that you're just like, what just happened? It may not be good as some of the stand and delivers from the Black and Gold days. The takeovers. The takeovers, I guess they didn't have stand. Did they have stand and deliver back then?
No, it was these WrestleMania.
They were takeovers.
Takeovers.
Yeah, and maybe it doesn't hit some of the heights of those shows, but overall, it's probably top 5 best WrestleMania weekend NXTs ever.
That's the rabbit hole we could go down to figuring out and comparing. Because even the Black and Gold era takeovers, there were still some matches in the middle that were meh duds. But very similar vein from what we just watched. There's matches that deliver, and they did.
That leads us into our main event of the weekend. The first night of it, anyways. We are live from the Allegiant Stadium in Paradise, Nevada.
Paradise, Nevada. Doesn't that sound like a beautiful place to just go hang out?
Yep.
Las Vegas. The biggest 2-night event of the year. Stacked as always, of course, top to bottom. Should be in for a major event here. There are multiple titles in line. Who will show up? Maybe we get some surprises. This is night one. Who will Paul Heyman side with when it's all said and done? By the way, the ramp, the set, I liked it. Did you like the setup in the stage?
Yeah, it was a cool setup. The fans above the entrance was kind of cool.
Interesting, yeah. And they were on the sides, like right there in like a roped off area, VIP-esque area. We get opening videos.
Cost like $30,000 fucking dollars.
There was
Did you see Randy Orton reacting to the price of the tickets?
Yes, which is fair. Maybe y'all should lower the ticket prices, please. That'd be great. The
And
opening
Randy Orton
video,
should be careful though. That's how they pay his $4 million a year.
the opening video talks about knowing the whole story, but realizing that this is just the beginning. We get some famous WrestleMania moments, legends, and that it's the realest it's ever been.
If there's one thing WWE does well is their opening videos for
Oh, yeah.
WrestleMania. They're always epic.
Legendary stories are sometimes true. Triple H kicks us off, gets the usual speech of thanking the fans, and hits us with the "Are you ready?" I said, "Are you ready?" We're ready to off and rolling for WrestleMania Night 1, Saturdays.
And we got a big time match to open up the WrestleMania weekend. We got the World Heavyweight Championship title match between Jey Uso challenging Gunther. Yeah, like I said, Uso is challenging. He comes out to the ring with a DJ, people waving big yeet flags, and the Las Vegas Raiders cheerleaders.
Yeah.
The stadium goes nuts for the entrance, and it must be amazing to realize that all those people are going nuts for you and only you alone. Unreal. This match was good. The finish, but if you look back at history, Gunther has tapped out that quickly before, so I guess there's something to be said about that. But the finish took away from what was a great match.
Yeah.
But when you really think about it, I mean, 3 Uso splashes, fucking, I don't know, man. Maybe he was just weakened by that point. He powerbombed Gunther. It's ridiculous. Like I said, Gunther's powerbomb goes for the powerbomb to finish this match, but it's countered into a powerbomb from Jey, followed by the super kicks, 3 straight superfly splashes to have Gunther getting back to his feet, but Jey pulls him into a sleeper, and Gunther taps out quick. But when you think about it, he was beat down by that point. So, and they did it. They actually did it. Jey Uso is World Heavyweight Champion. They've set this title change up for months now, but I honestly didn't think they were going to pull the trigger on it.
Nice little swerve.
I don't know if it's a swerve. I just don't see Jey as World Heavyweight Champion, and maybe it works. Maybe he holds on to it for a while. I still think he'll lose it relatively quickly, maybe as early as SummerSlam, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Man, they made a star out of Jey, though. They really did. He's one of the most popular stars in all of the company, and they needed to capitalize on it, and they did it. Like I said, I don't know how Have Any Clue how long the title reign will run, but at least he has that big WrestleMania moment that will forever be his crowning achievement, even with the 28 tag team title championships that he has as well. Like I said, the match was good. It was great until the finish. The finish kind of took away from it, but I mean, overall, the match was over. He overwhelmed Gunther. It was actually quite phenomenal to see him pull it out. And Gunther had been all over Jey for the last 3 months, so not really sure what's next for Gunther. Maybe he goes after, the SmackDown championship. Win another championship. Gunther is always destined to be champion. I can't see him not being a champion of some sort. Yeah. Pyro goes off. Jimmy Uso comes out to celebrate, and Jey gets to leave through the crowd.
Yeah. You didn't see it coming. I kind of figured they were going to do it without give the moment, get Jey, get the people eating, having a good time. Happy for Jey. He's putting to work. I do 100% agree with you. I don't think it's a long title reign by any means. It could end sooner than later. But cool feel good moment. Let Jey have his moment in the sun. I'm sure Rikishi's happy. He'll stop bitching on Twitter and
Haku came out. No, sorry, Haku came out for Jacob. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
He did come out. You're correct. He did come out. Not in this match.
Not for this match.
No, happy for Jey. Happy for Jey. Good
Jimmy
to see.
Came out.
Seeing Jey, it was just cool. Hey, I watched this guy just win the Royal Rumble live. Pretty cool moment. That was unexpected, and this was expected, but also unexpected. A part of me did feel maybe they were just gonna say, "Nah, Gunther's the evil super." You could even put more fire in Gunther that he already had that he didn't need, but So yeah, I was fine with it. We get a New Day recap heel turn. I can read all these if you want. The usual, which they do this. I think we talked about it. They do the recap before every match. here's how we got here. That's for the casual fans. That's for the people that aren't watching. Hey, you want to know how this match came about? Here we go.
There's nothing
So-
wrong with that. I mean, you got to
No,
cater to all your
no.
fans. You will have casual fans that just tunes in for the pay-per-views.
No,
Um,
you know what it helps us with? We can run to the bathroom.
Fuck, if we tune into an AEW pay-per-view and we're like, oh, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, they don't do those. I wish AEW did those. Just give us a. How did we get here? But they can't because they don't know how they fucking got there. Take it away. Raw tag team titles, man. Let's do it.
We do have the Raw tag team title match. Night 1, WrestleMania, New Day versus War Raiders. The Raiders are defending, and New Day gets quite the negative reception, even arguing with NFL star George Kittle at ringside. Commentary spends the entrance talking about Clash of Clans, with McAfee being either a huge fan or really good at reading the script.
He's good.
The finish comes when the Raiders' War Machine is broken up, and then Daybreak from Xavier and Kofi, and then with Kofi Kingston holding the leg, gives us new champions at 9 minutes and 12 seconds. This match was okay. The story, ice cold story. Like you had so much opportunity to capitalize on the New Day and their Big E thing, and nothing. The problem boils down to one thing. The entire point of the New Day's heat is built around Big E. And if he isn't there, why the fuck should I care about this match? I was waiting the whole time. Where's Big E? Big E. Like, make a fucking appearance, man. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's coming too soon. I don't know. But I've said this for a while. If they don't capitalize on Big E sooner, then the New Day's, the whole story goes cold and it's pointless. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's holding back everything they do right now.
I don't have much to add to this, man. The match was good. It had its moments. But the fact that this was a WrestleMania match and we're getting a TLC tag team title match on SmackDown, which is going to be a banger, guarantee it's going to be a fucking banger on SmackDown. It could have easily took this place because there was no Big E. Why was Big E not there? It was everything we were hoping for. Listen, you're not going to get everything you want. I understand that.
Biggest stage of the year, like that's where you pull the trigger on that story.
Yeah, I have all people know, judging once we get to the final match of WrestleMania weekend, you're not always going to get what you want. But this seemed like a fucking layup. Big E was right there at the pre-show panel. All he had to do was come out and distract them. I don't fucking understand, man. I don't.
Distract them, maybe, help them win, and it's the big shock of the moment. It's just like, what the fuck?
I'm going to be a dirty heel manager or something. I don't know. Yeah, nonetheless, up next is Jay Cargill.
Have him turn heel with them, and then New Day on Monday can go, haha, we got you fuckers.
Yeah. Up next is going to be Jade Cargill and Naomi. We get the rundown of what the hell happened, why we got to this point, who attacked Jade was the running story. We finally found out at Elimination Chamber as she attacked Naomi. Naomi's went full turn with a fantastic gimmick. I love the gimmick, the proceed with caution gimmick. Really good.
Yeah, and that leads us into this match: Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Naomi keeps it up with her proceed with caution theme, complete with a bunch of caution tape. Apparently enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Cargill, on the other hand, gets an introduction featuring a reporter from the Weather Channel because, a storm is coming. Finish comes when Naomi goes for a big kick to the head.
Can I just say, can I just cut you off, dog? That weatherman thing, I don't know if was it meant to be like get us going or because I laughed at it, dude. I laughed so hard at it, but yeah. 1 second, man. I really got to run to the bathroom. I know you're gonna break this down, but give me 1 second, please. I have got to pee so bad. Sorry, man. We have a lot to talk about, and I've been holding it in. We've been going for about 2 hours, and we haven't really stopped. So, how to get that in? Jade Cargill, Naomi, let's rock it.
Yeah, way to ruin the momentum there. Finish of this match came when Naomi.
They did that. They did that the match before, bro. We're good.
Finish comes when Naomi goes for the big kick to Jade Cargill's head, but misses. This allows Cargill to muscle her up for a very nasty looking spinning powerbomb. Jaded then finishes out Naomi at 9 minutes and 26 seconds. This match could have been a lot worse than what it was. I mean, I wasn't overly interested in the match. I'm not a Cargill fan. We all know that. I don't honestly know why the match even went 9 minutes when they should have just had Cargill smash through Naomi. But they didn't have any major botches, so that's a plus.
Mhm.
Throwing Cargill's offense getting to look awesome, and this was a good showcase for Cargill. Finally, this was probably the best she has looked since being in WWE. Naomi never had a chance of winning this match. You thought maybe for a hot minute that to continue along the story, but
Yeah.
it's not a long-term story. Maybe it is. Maybe Naomi comes back out and continues it on somehow, but it's a very acceptable way to go with it, really. I just think it should have been more of a squash.
Yeah. You said it. This was probably Jade's best match in WWE. She looked good. That like spinning power bomb where she flipped Naomi around and caught her midair was clean. She hit the Jada pretty clean. Yeah, but I'm with you. Could have been a squash. Could have been a squash and it'd have been fine. We get the recap of how we got to the U.S. title match. Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, and the build for that, and all that goodness, and ready to rock. I'll tell you what.
And
I'll tell you what. As a trade off, you can just go to the next match. There's no need for us to do the recap. You think you can just go for it? Just go.
well, fine then. Hey, you want to do less and less work every week? That's fine.
This is your moment. It's all you.
Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
It's all you.
U.S. title match. LA Knight defending against Jacob Fatu. Knight is out. He's been escorted in a Maserati. He's got
Clean.
a producer in there with the headset. I don't know why that producer still doesn't wear the headset. That looked horrible, but whatever.
Always working, bro. Always working.
Nice looking Maserati, nonetheless. This match was never in doubt. We got 22 million moonsaults, 15 million Samoan drops, a couple million hip attacks, and the finish comes when Fatu knocks him off the top rope and hits a pair of triple jump moonsaults. One more just to be fair, just to get that in there. And he takes the pin and the title at 10 minutes and 40 seconds. You knew the title change was coming here. Fatu is not someone who should be losing a singles match ever, especially on this stage. He comes off as the biggest monster in wrestling these days, and giving him a title is a big way to boost him here. Not that he really needs it. It should be interesting what they do with him next. Now that he has the title, where you go with it. But, getting the title on Fatu is what they needed to do, and they did it in pretty much a relatively dominant style. This is where Haku shows up, of all people, comes out to celebrate with Fatu. I think Jacob just should have given the title to keep the peace in the family, but
just to give him the peace. I like the match. You knew Jacob was winning here. They're booking him well. He is dominant.
I do have to apologize. I said Jacob Fatu only has 4 moves. We counted. He has like 7
or 8. We really couldn't decide on one of them. We just let it slide. I think. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I want you to be very clear. He's dominant. He does his thing well. He's booked well. He comes across as a badass, and there's nothing wrong with that. Jacob Fatu is awesome. Give him a microphone, let him cook, and then he'll kill you in the ring with his 7 moves of doom. And there's nothing wrong with that. I will say up next is what was supposed to be Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. But we talked about it when we broke down SmackDown. Rey was injured, and he did get replaced. That Rey being Rey Mysterio, Rey Fenix being the one to replace Rey Mysterio. It was the build wasn't really there because Rey Fenix just showed up. But taking the place of Rey Mysterio, and he's going to have a match with El Grande Americano and put on for the Lucha. And was it Saturday or Sunday? The pre-show is when, Saturday pre-show, they did announce the AAA purchase as well.
Yeah, right after this match, they go back to that clip.
Show.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that leads us to Rey Fenix versus El Grande Americano. And what a showing to incoming talent from other companies that, hey, you'll end up on WrestleMania. Hey, You'll wrestle on WrestleMania night 1, and then hey, maybe you'll wrestle on WrestleMania night 2 in a big old title match.
Yeah, maybe.
Little
Lucha.
thought for food for thought. Ray Phoenix, El Grande Americano. Somehow El Grande Americano is the most amazing thing going on in fucking WWE right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. It shouldn't be this good, but it is. Americano's entrance is in a sepia tone, and a masked mariachi band plays him to the ring. AAA star Vikingo is in the front row, and Americano shoves him, earning a kick to his head. Finish of this match, I mean, I thought El Grande would lose here, but the win is actually even better. The finish comes when Americano loads up a metal plate in the mask, but Phoenix rolls him up for a 2 count. Phoenix goes for a kick to the face, but hits the metal plate to hurt his ankle. His Adios Amigo kick absolutely destroys his ankle. Michael Cole, I don't know what the fuck he was watching, but he's like, going, I think Ray Phoenix has injured his ankle or his foot or something. And Wade Barrett's like, no, I think he kicked the metal plate in his head there, Michael. Oh no, you're right, Wade. Thank you. You're right. Like, what the fuck, Michael? But yeah, the ankle lock goes on, but it is reversed only for Phoenix to get headbutted on a diving headbutt. Well, no, actually, sorry, I got that wrong. He got headbutted. Phoenix goes for the dive. Yeah. Big headbutt to the head. El Grande Americano goes up to the top rope and hits the diving headbutt for the finish at 7:59. The action was good enough, but the whole overall of this is just so much fun. It really is. It's just silly fucking wrestling stuff. And sometimes that's what makes wrestling fun, is that they can have moments like this where it's stupid, but it works to near perfection. Everyone is in on the joke, but the villain is getting away with his lies.
Yes,
it's not a bad thing, and it's working here. And the match ended up being a decent match as well, but just everything about it is just so much fun. Post-match, Vikingo comes in the ring, help Phoenix up, and that was a cool little moment.
I'm just gonna cheat.
Who would have thought a year ago?
Yeah,
fucking Vikingo. Now he has an inroad to fucking WWE. Like, come on.
100% guarantee both of us have said the words, God, I would love to see Vikingo in WWE.
Yeah.
Well, there's an in. Yeah, I'm gonna echo your thoughts and cheat a little bit on this one because you took the words out of my mouth. It was just fun. It was fun. This whole gimmick with El Grande Americano is just fun, and it's awesome, and we love it. And you mentioned Vikingo. That leads up to them making the official announcement that WWE has acquired AEW.
Wow.
Clip it. WWE has acquired AAA. And that is a pretty big deal when you break it down. There are rumors that they could be acquiring other companies and just making, a big deal.
They're literally cutting off every feeder company into AEW.
Yeah, New Japan's next. Look out.
Hey, there's a lot of rumors that they're struggling right now financially.
Clearly, they can't pay one of their big stars in Naito. So, yeah, Shawn Michaels, he comes out to give the announcement of the official attendance, which is 61,467 people. Believe it or not, I don't know.
If you're not down with that,
we got 2 words for you. Suck it. That was a shot. I think you brought
that was
up.
A definite shot to the dirt sheets. 100%. Actually, it wasn't even to the dirt sheets. It was a direct shot to Dave Meltzer there.
One individual, and that's fucking Dave Meltzer. We get the Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair video package to show how we got here. Basically, Stratton is the new star. Charlotte's won the Royal Rumble. She's one of the best of all time. She's wanting to get a title. Very personal along this road. And yeah, I was looking forward to this match.
Yeah, and that leads us into the SmackDown Women's title match. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Stratton makes an entrance with a Barbie theme, and this was a really cool entrance. And she's defending, and they waste no time going to brawl.
I loved commentary when there was 3 Barbie boxes up there, and Pat's like, which one is she in?
Apparently that was specially made by Mattel. Those.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Finish comes when a Charlotte Flair gets a supernatural selection for the 2 count, but she can't get the figure 4 leg lock set in. Instead, Stratton hits a regal roll, into the prettiest moonsault ever to retain at 19 minutes and 10 seconds. They had a few issues here. You brought it up in the match. It almost seemed like Charlotte was sandbagging here. But the important thing is Stratton came away with the win clean, which is absolutely what needed to happen to cement Stratton as a legitimate champion. If she had lost, it just put her on the next long list of people beaten by Charlotte. But having her get the win here is a big deal. We all know Charlotte ain't done coming after her. But at least she should be knocked down a few pegs at the moment. But we all know she ain't done.
No, and I actually watched this match again because I wanted to just see if it actually wasn't as bad as I thought when I watched it originally. It was better than I thought. I thought Charlotte was sandbagging, but she maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. I couldn't tell. I mean, Tiffany did get her fucking teeth knocked out or chipped in this match, by the way.
Their dentistry work
Yeah,
backstage is amazing.
They had her teeth fixed up and ready to go for the freaking press conference. She was rocking. Good for Tiffany. This was the right call. You cement Tiffany as the legit future. She beat one of the greatest of all time in that ring in the women's division, and awesome to see. Love Tiffany Stratton. Love this for Tiffany Stratton.
It's weird. You could almost cemented another wrestler's legacy in the business by having them defeat one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, we're gonna really probably argue about that match. I have I like this one though. I like Tiffany getting the win here. Charlotte will probably win the title again though soon. SummerSlam, maybe. I love that that's the end all be all, by the way, for like win the short reign. It would probably SummerSlam.
It's not a short reign for Tiffany though. She's had it for a while now.
We get the usual recap of here's the Hall of Fame class.
Okay, let me before you go through this. Everybody was freaking out because Lex Luger wasn't there for the recap in the Hall of Fame class. He came out the next day or a couple of days later and explained what happened. He went to WWE the morning of Wrestlemania and told him that he wasn't feeling well and doesn't know if he could make the show. WWE Triple H told him, "Hey, rest, see how you feel this afternoon." The afternoon came and he started feeling worse, and he told WWE, "Hey, I can't make it."
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't some big slight to Lex Luger. It wasn't like stop with the shit. Lex Luger is obviously not in the greatest of health, and he wasn't feeling good enough to be there.
And the fact that he showed up and stood and did his Hall of Fame speech was awesome. The Hall of Fame class is, as you said, Lex Luger, Steve Austin, and Bret Hart for their WrestleMania moment.
Did you see the moment in the Hall of Fame where Stone Cold, Pat McAfee, and I think Bret Hart were at the podium and they were drinking a beer and CM Punk was in behind them and he just started stepping backwards like, "No, man, I'm straight edge."
It was like, dude, we get it. You're fine. You don't have to step back. Michelle McCool, the Natural Disasters, and Triple H, who shakes everybody's hands, spits the water, and all that good stuff. And as we head for it, it is the main event time. We get the recap of how we got to this moment. Rollins and his hate for both of them, Roman wanting to be the best, and Punk because he's getting his moment here. He is in the main event of WrestleMania, and Punk does have Paul Heyman in his corner. Ready to rock. Main event, night one.
A main event of WrestleMania with no title. It seems wild to say, but here we are. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Rollins gets a flamethrower in his entrance, and then the screen goes all black, and we're like, what the fuck's going on? And then it just pops out, and he's just in a hell of a fit.
Wrestling Jesus.
Reigns has screens of members of his family, and then Punk gets the real special treatment here with Paul Heyman. Gets a special video looking back at his early days. Punk even said in an interview afterwards, he's like, he was back in Gorilla while they're playing his video, and he's like tears in his eyes. He's just like, he could not believe that he's made it to, he's made his dream come true. And then not in Living Color, that was a TV show. Living Color is playing live to him the rain, and the lead singer gets a moment for a selfie. So that's kind of a cool spot.
Still singing, by the way, all in one motion, just still killing it. Bam.
I mean, you can talk and walk, right? So, I mean, is it really that great?
I don't know. I feel like you're locked in on your lyrics, and you're just like he's
If you've been doing it for 40 years, I think you
say
got it down.
he's also sang this song a million fucking times.
And yeah, we get one hell of a match here. Like this saved all of WrestleMania Night 1, like quite legitimately. Finish comes when Heyman goes to grab a chair. Both Reigns and Punk are down and they're holding out their hands, but Heyman hands it to Punk. And you're like, oh, he's doing it. He's there for Punk. But he then gets in the ring, low blow to Punk. And Roman Reigns is sitting there going, oh my God, my wise man came for me. Heyman's in the ring. He's shouting at Punk, you made me do it. You made me choose. And hands the chair to Reigns to unload on Punk. Heyman calls him off and points out that Rollins is right there down. And then Heyman hits him with a low blow. And this one was personal. This was a personal low blow. And yeah, honestly, best way to go right now. You just made yourself lag drastically on that one. Your camera could not keep up. Nonetheless, Rollins puts out his hands. Paul Heyman's hands in the chair, and it's happened. And Heyman just sits down in the corner, chilling, and then Rollins blasts Reigns in the back with the chair, setting up the stomp for the pin at 32 minutes and 38 seconds. What a match. What a moment to finish. You know Punk is going to lose his fucking mind over this. Reigns is absolutely devastated. What a way to turn in. Seth Rollins. I mean, he doesn't need Heyman, but man, this just creates a dynamic that is going to be really cool to see where they go with it. The turn was somewhat telegraphed. We kind of maybe saw it coming, but we weren't sure. But it doesn't really make that a bad thing because when it came down to it, Heyman is the best when he finds the next big thing. And then his former protege coming for revenge, and that is where we'll be heading for a long time. Mm-hmm. Rollins winning is hardly a stretch, and it felt like a huge moment for him. Solid back and forth main event, and it was better than I thought it was going to be. And I don't even know how that's possible because I thought it was going to be great, but it was even better than that. It felt big. It felt like a WrestleMania main event match. It saved the night. The match, the night wasn't bad. It just, we'll get to it at the end of night 2, but this WrestleMania just didn't feel like a WrestleMania to me. But this match felt like a WrestleMania main event match.
Yeah, it did. And they delivered. All three of them put on one of the best matches of the weekend. And Seth winning was deserved. That dude put himself through hell to get through WrestleMania 40. The match with Drew after sacrificing, damn near destroying himself in the tag team match the night before. The match with Drew, the making it for the finish of WrestleMania 40. Dude deserved this win at WrestleMania. And I'm excited to see where they go with this. To echo your sentiments of it not feeling like a WrestleMania, I will say I agree, but I don't, not in a bad way. Like it did, but it didn't. The spectacle, it was there. Everything was there.
Well, no, just look at it this way. We had the Raw tag team title match. Put that SmackDown TLC match in there. It feels like a WrestleMania match.
Totally.
Having Big E come out in some capacity for the New Day stuff
would have changed things.
Would have changed that. There's just things that they missed out on that would have made it feel like a bigger deal. That's just how I feel about it.
And I understand we're not there. We don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe Big E said no. But
maybe not, but maybe they have a different story and plan. We'll see where it goes. They're not just going to forget. They're not going to forget about it.
No, not everything they do is perfect. It's very clear. But I get where you're coming from saying, was it WrestleMania worthy? It was WrestleMania. It did feel like WrestleMania. Some of the matches did not deliver that WrestleMania moment. I get what you're saying. Night 1 had its moments. I enjoyed that main event. It really did show out. Tiffany beating Charlotte was nice to see. Jey Uso got his feel-good moment. Night 1, not terrible. But, let's stop with some people saying it's one of the worst. Well, we'll talk about it when we get through night 2. But
it's not one of the worst, but it's definitely not one of the best. It was a weird night. I mean, the matches worked well. The big matches worked well, but there weren't many of them. I mean, you had 7 matches total. 3 of them were big. You had the opening world title match, you had the women's title match, and then the main event. They all felt big. The other 4 just kind of felt like they were there. Not that they were bad, but they were just kind of there. They could have been on a Monday Night Raw. They could have been on a house show. Like they just felt like they were just matches. The show flew by. It really did. It was 4 hours, but it did not feel like 4 hours. But realistically, looking at the night 2 card, the main event, Cena versus Rhodes, it just makes night 1 feel less important.
Not even
good show overall, but twist at the end was nice. Big emotional moment. Shit's gonna come out with that, and it does. We find out Monday night, and it's only gonna go crazier. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be that story is gonna probably be what carries WWE through the rest of the year.
100%. That's night 1. Night 2. Hit me. Night 2. Can I point something out that I noticed? I didn't notice, but I noticed after somebody else pointed it out. There was like a color theme for night 1 and a different color theme for night 2. The graphics were different night 1, night 2. They really did split it up to make it feel different for both nights, which I thought was just a small touch, just to not be repetitive for 2 straight days of professional wrestling. They did kind of do it a little different. So
yeah, and I mean we are on night 2. It was an okay, decent night 1, absolutely saved by the main event. But night 2 is here, and this one, I mean, just the card alone looks like it's going to overshadow night 1.
Yeah. Sunday. Eventful enough. We have another show. A lot of stuff going on in this one. Obviously, the big one: John Cena, Cody Rhodes, main event. Will he get 17? Will Cody save professional wrestling? We get another one of those spectacular opening video. Recap of last. Recap. Here's what happened on last week's show. They did not do a big video, did they? They did not for this one. They did it for night 1.
It was just simple to the point.
To the point. Stephanie McMahon, though, she kicks us off. She says the last time WrestleMania was in Vegas, she was 16 years old, and now they're back here, and her middle daughter is 16 years old. That's because WWE is family, and she welcomes us all to WrestleMania.
Vin Diesel was there. First match of the night, Raw's woman title match: Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Sky's defending, and Belair has a double Dutch team during her entrance. Ripley, on the other hand, gets an absolute eruption as she's certainly the crowd favorite. Finish comes when Belair and Ripley go up to the top, with Belair being knocked to the floor. Sky's Super Poisarana is countered with a faceplant onto the post, but Belair is back with the KOD. Ripley slips out and lands on her feet, but gets caught with a hair whip. Now the KOD can connect, but Sky comes in with over the moonsault to pin Belair and retain the title at 14 minutes and 27 seconds. I really got into this match, man. I mean, with all the offense and everything on, it made me really wonder what was going to be the finish. Like, who's going to win this match? Any one of them could have won. All 3 of them could have come out with the title, and that's not a bad situation to be in. It leaves for a lot of drama. Io Sky is deservedly getting that top tier push of active stars in the women division, and she has definitely earned that spot. She's probably one of the best female wrestlers in the world right now. This is kind of win that can really help her cement her position in WWE for a long time to come. And you know what? We could still have a singles match between her and Rhea, her and Bianca, however you want to go about it. Or, you have Rhea versus Bianca as the option as well to get to that match for Io at Backlash. Who knows? But whatever comes out of it, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. You can't go wrong with what you have here. You have 3 very, very talented wrestlers.
I will keep the firm stance that Io Sky is the best women's wrestler in the world. I believe that. She's awesome. She's lovable. She's in the ring. She's just a menace. And all 3 of these women showed out. And I will say they set the tone better than how they set the tone for night 1. And they set the tone on a better level it was matched. It was matched. night one. This match, I think you said, and I agreed with, the first match of night two was better than every match at night one, minus the main event. Maybe.
Yes, 100%.
Maybe. This
I,
match
I'm not a maybe. I think
good.
this match absolutely cooked.
No. Better than every other match besides the main event. I don't know. It may be better than that main event night one. I don't think so, but it's close.
Oh, I
love
don't
this
know.
match.
The main event night, maybe the in-ring work was better in this match,
Yeah, that's
but
fair. The story.
the emotion from the first night, you can't top that.
Yeah, I get that. Next would be Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. The build of just, Drew's blaming everyone for all his troubles, but for the past year, Priest has been at the forefront of all the issues with Drew. And yeah, street fight time, man.
Holy fucking did they show up for this match? Yeah, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a Sin City street fight. And yeah, awesome. I'm a huge metal fan, Iron Maiden, but the guitarist Kerry King, he has a solo project now, but he is the lead guitarist for Slayer. Plays them out, and I loved it. But I'm a metalhead, so of course I'm gonna love it. That was fucking awesome. I didn't know. I honestly had no clue that it was Kerry King who did Damian Priest's entrance song. No clue.
Did not know that.
Did not have a clue. Yeah, so this match comes to the finish when Priest tries the old school Undertaker walk the tightrope move, but he gets shoved off the top through the two tables at ringside for a big fucking moment. Man, that looks so fucking good. And then back in the Claymore into the chair in the corner. Holy fuck, what a car collision that was. Jesus. So good. Oh man, this whole match. I mean, I'm only giving you the finish, but just you want to see a street fight, how to pull off a good street fight, watch what these two did. They actually laid it all out on the line here. And yeah, Drew McIntyre takes the finish after that Claymore at 13 minutes and 56 seconds. Going into this, I wasn't really sure how this match was going to come off. I mean, you knew they were going to show up, but like, how could it really be? But they came in and beat the living shit out of each other.
Yes, they did.
And that's honestly one of the perks of having a match like this, as the two of them are big enough to be able to hammer on each other until one of them couldn't get up.
Mm-hmm.
The ending spot was just so devastating. And I don't know if Priest really felt like a major threat at any point in this match. He definitely held his own. And it was definitely a good hurdle for McIntyre to overcome and show that he deserves to go on to something bigger.
Drew had one of the best years, and he's still on fire. He's just still on fire, dude. It's everything Drew McIntyre has done since WrestleMania 40, the build to WrestleMania 40 to WrestleMania 41 and beyond. On fire. I love this match. Street fight, the chaos, and you said it, and I'm gonna echo that, man. That Claymore he hit Damian with the in the corner with the chair, fucking wild. Great match. Drew deserved to win this. More I look at it as, here's your reward for all the hard work you put in, and 100% loved it. Up next is going to be one of the matches that I was looking forward to, very high on my list. The 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. The recap is just shown of Braun Breaker, who's been dealing with Judgment Day. Penta's in this match because he's had some chances, but it's been interrupted by Judgment Day. So fatal 4-way. Yes.
Yeah, and that leads us into our Intercontinental title match. Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Penta. Breaker's defending here, and Dominic has a Rey Mysterio mask on for his entrance.
No,
nice little.
It was not a Rey mask. I don't want us to put that out there. It was apparently a mask of his ancestors that they used to wear back in Mexico. But commentary, all they would do, I'm not knocking anybody. They didn't know. Nobody wisened them up on this. Commentary was just making fun of the fact that he couldn't get it off. But it wasn't a Rey mask. Apparently, it was a lineage to his former ancestors, and there was a meaning behind it. Because he even talked about that on the post show with Sam Roberts, where he made a joke about how he couldn't get it off, and he said, well, he compared the mask that it was his family ancestors trying to form with his face because he's so good, but he treated it like Jim Carrey in The Mask, and he had to rip that thing off. That's why he couldn't get it off fast enough. But
All right, cool story going with something that nobody knows anything about without explaining before the show or at the time.
nobody explained it on the show. That's
Yeah.
why commentary did not say anything, and I just didn't want us to put that out there and without context. That's what we do. We have good context. We don't tell lies. We don't tell bullshit. We give you the facts.
All right, Breaker is here defending for the title, and Dominic has a Rey Mysterio mask on for his entrance and a nice little trolling moment. I'm sorry, Kurt likes to dig deep into the lore of wrestling. I'm just going to go with it was a troll
or just
moment.
using Dominic's Mysterio's words, but fair enough.
Finish comes when Balor breaks. Finish comes when Balor takes a Canadian Destroyer, only for Carlito to make the save on the pinfall. Breaker is back up to spear Carlito through the announcer's table.
Can't avoid it.
Followed by another spear to Penta, and then back inside the ring there. Balor is there to cut Breaker off, though, and the coup de grace connects, only for Mysterio to be the ultimate. What's Edge's thing? The ultimate
opportunist.
The ultimate opportunist, and hits a frog splash to pin Finn Balor at 10 minutes and 34 seconds. That cannot end well in any way whatsoever for the Judgment Day. Honestly, that's the right ending here. It's Dominic has put in the fucking work, and there's nothing wrong with having him win this match. The big story here is that Mysterio wins a title, and after everything that he has done over the last few years, it's the right way to go. You just cannot go wrong. He's been killing it, and somehow he's getting cheered the fuck here.
Loud.
Like, it's amazing. Like, the most ultimate heel to being cheered. It's wild how quickly things can shift in wrestling. Mysterio getting to hold the title over Balor is going to be great, and Baker can move on to something bigger and better, whatever that might be.
Foreshadowing.
Some people are thinking, like, where does that leave Penta? What does he do next? Lucha Bros, people, come on.
His brother's right there.
Lucha Bros, you guys are gonna see shit. If you've not seen the Lucha Bros go at it, they put on my all-time favorite match of all time. Young Bucks, Lucha Bros, all in. Like, let's go. Mysterio goes absolutely nuts celebrating his win here. He even runs back down the ramp to get in the ring and celebrate again. It's good shit, man.
This was awesome, a cool moment. The match delivered on every point. The fact that Carlito cannot escape Braun Breaker's spear no matter how hard he tries. And he goes through a table for this one. By the way, different ring announce tables, looking more sturdy, and you're still going through them. Good match. Dom getting the win was just awesome. And you brought the fact that he's a major heel, been booed forever, cheered like the biggest baby face in the world here. It's because wrestling fans are sometimes, they know. And you knew how big of a moment that was for Dom. The work he has put in as the heel, he is still being a heel, by the way, watching all of his interviews post-Mania. He said he was the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, and he even reinforced the fact that he's saying it 10 minutes after he won it, but he is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
He's still a heel.
Still a heel. But they're cheering because we as fans, we see the work that got put in for that, and just a really good payoff for him. There's somebody showed a video. Ray was actually in the crowd up in the area, and somebody took a video of him. He was celebrating pretty hard for Dom.
You know how you know Ray is a proud papa in that moment.
Yeah. Eddie Guerrero, Dom's real dad, smiling down. Just an awesome moment.
We don't spread lies on this podcast, people.
It's Dom's words, dude. He says it. His real papa, man.
There was a match. We learned that Ray is the real father.
He won the custody of Dom Mysterio ladder match back at SummerSlam 2002, I think. Yes, it's true.
I thought 2004, but 2002 sounds right.
Oh, Dom's been in business for a long time. All right, he's a vet. Up next, man, it's mystery opponent time. Who's Randy's opponent at WrestleMania? And his 20th WrestleMania, mind you, for Randy Orton here. Sadly, Kevin Owens does not show up.
Yeah, I was wrong. I was holding on hope. I was wrong. Yeah, Orton's out, and he's in He's in his fit. He's in his original little tribute to his original trunks in the WWE, and he's making the open challenge. And who is it? It's TNA World Champion Joe Hendry for a fucking moment. The crowd goes nuts. You knew this was coming. Well, you didn't know this was coming, but you knew it was coming eventually. Hendry is the guy. He's gonna be in WWE. It's a foregone conclusion. It's gonna happen. Triple H even said before this match back in Gorilla to Joe Hendry is like, hey man, this is gonna be your easiest WrestleMania ever because there are plenty more to come. He gets a big entrance. Fans are just going nuts. An early RKO attempt is countered into a roll up, and Orton is surprised. He's like, oh, he got one over on me quick. What the hell's going up? Back up, and Orton's Orton. He starts hammering away, but Hendry is back up with some shots of his own. Hendry grabs the fallaway slam and gets to do his pose. And that's enough for the RKO to finish Orton at Hendry at 309. That was a cool moment. He does his pose and then just out and over. RKO. To be clear, this was not a squash match.
Nope.
This wasn't Hendry being buried, and this was not a bad thing. Hendry is the reigning TNA World Champion. He's going into Rebellion on an injury. He pulled something a few weeks back, but he's still out there going at it. He's obviously nowhere the star Orton is, and this was just a little bit more than just a moment to have a little fun, get a big moment for Hendry, get the big pop. There are very, 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 very few wrestlers who are bigger stars than Orton. It's just fact. And losing to him at WrestleMania in a short match is not some sort of death sentence for Hendry.
Oh.
The fact that Hendry, a TNA wrestler, not even a WWE wrestler, is on the biggest stage in the world, and to do his entrance is what matters. He
against Randy fucking Orton.
It's that is like everyone's dream. You're on WrestleMania wrestling fucking Randy Orton on a WrestleMania match.
Oh, you're telling me I'm gonna get RKO'd at WrestleMania? Let's go.
Randy Orton's arcade. Oh, everybody! I sent you that pic. No, that was Stone Cold. That was Stone Cold, but nonetheless, same kind of. There's a picture of Trump in the White House with Vince and Linda and Stephanie and Triple H, and the caption is like, Stone Cold has stunned 47% of the people in this photo, and that includes the current president of the United States. But Randy Orton's RKO'd almost everybody in the fucking world too, so it's not a bad thing. Post-match, Orton shows some respect, but in typical Randy Orton fashion, he RKOs Joe Hendry again. But as Joe Hendry said on the Pat McAfee show, was it Pat McAfee show?
Ariel Helwani show.
Ariel Helwani. He's like going, everybody's talking about how I got squashed by Randy Orton, but Randy Orton did my fucking pose at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was just a fun, cool moment. The names that were thrown around. I want to say something. I didn't predict this by any means. A few hours before WrestleMania, so one of the guys I follow, Julian Weeks on X, he put out, all right, guessing time with a poll of who's going to be Randy's person he's going up against. And it was, this person. I commented and I said, Joe Hendry. It's proof. It's on the internet. I did do it. I'll send it to you. But it happened. And then I messaged him and I said, so where's my fucking cookie? Waiting on my cookie. This was an awesome moment. Joe, the TNA World Championship was at WrestleMania. Don't tell me it's not a good partnership, ladies and gentlemen. That's a hell of a partnership. I liked it. Of course, Randy's going to win. Short fashion. I loved the second RKO and the fun that he had with it. Keep it moving. Awesome. Joe Hendry this Sunday defending that TNA championship against Ethan Page and Frankie Kazarian. TNA Rebellion. Up next is the nice little recap of Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. I loved, by the way, this pre-package. It was like a tale, old as time. The celebrity versus the traditional wrestle. The story of Logan Paul versus AJ Styles, and yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and that leads us Logan Paul, AJ Styles, and as usual, we get a special Logan Paul entrance as he live streams his entrance, which is quite the visual when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this match comes to a finish when one of Paul's goons comes out with the brass knuckles. Q carrying Cross to cut that off and tries to hand them to Styles, who decks Cross instead. What the fuck we doing, AJ? You got to win for the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
The phenomenal forearm misses, and Paul hits the big right hand. And the prettiest finisher in wrestling right now, the Pulverizer, finishes Styles at 17 minutes and 43 seconds. I'm glad Karrion Kross got to be on WrestleMania here. He deserves it. He deserves more than he gets, but he's put in the work. I sent something that Karrion Kross posted on Instagram earlier today about, you got to go, you got to do what you got to do. It's hard to explain. You can't tell people you can't tell people the secrets of what's going on, and that it gets you fired from the company pretty quick. But
yeah, and also
he's happy that the fans see what he's doing now, and not just going up to him going, "Man, your NXT run was so fucking good." Yeah. They're seeing what he's doing now and saying they love what he's doing. And if you don't love what Karrion Kross is doing right now, you don't understand what he's doing. He is cooking every fucking chance he gets, and he's doing it outside on social media. He's over right now, and he needs a push.
I don't want to turn it into a Karrion Kross love thing here, but it's true. And if you see the moment where he took over on the Mania recap with Sam Roberts and Megan Morant, and he went on the rant, whether it's a work, whether it's a shoot, whatever, it was awesome. Be a good soldier, right? Be a good soldier, Goldberg told him. And he was a good soldier, and he got fired. So Karrion deserves so much. But yes, it was good to see him at WrestleMania in his hometown of Vegas.
100%. And I think he's going to get it. He's going to get it. The WWE executives have said that they're really impressed with what he's doing right now with social media and everything. He's killing it. And this whole thing is still, there could be a lot more to this whole thing that's going on right now.
Yep.
This match, it was a good match. It's just they were kind of running with an anchor because you knew it was Logan Paul's match to win here. You knew it was coming. It's not they put together a story as quick as they could on this one. There was not a lot of it coming into the match, and they just wanted Paul to look good here. And AJ Styles getting a win over AJ Styles is going to do that because Styles is one of the best to ever fucking do this shit.
Yep.
And Styles is good. He understands his role. He's an older wrestler. He's 47. He's already said that he's not going to wrestle past 50. Styles gets it. You're going to put over the younger talent. And whether you like Paul or not, he has been putting in a lot more work. And he has said he's going to put a lot more work into wrestling now than he had previously. And he's been showing up more. So we'll see where it goes. And Styles is a great way to, Paul already has looked good since he's come in. One of the quickest, like fish to water, man. But Styles, wow, what a way, what a trooper to put Paul over here and not be one of those guys in back when I ain't fucking doing it.
Yeah, the match was good. AJ is great. He will always be great. There's a reason he says he's done when he hits 50 because he knows his body's going to slow down and he can still go at least for now. And Logan Paul looks good every time he's in the ring. Yet in the Mania moment, I didn't want Logan to win. I thought AJ maybe just because in my mind I think and I go, damn, when you look back at history years from now, Logan Paul beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing for Logan Paul's career.
Yeah, and that leads us into the women's tag team title match. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez defending against Lyra Valkyria. And did she find a partner? Did she find a partner?
Before you announce it, we did not say that because it was the pre-show WrestleMania Night 1. Bayley was attacked backstage. Don't know who did it, but Lyra had to look for a partner. 24 hours to find a tag team partner for said match, and that partner was
fellow Irishman Becky Lynch. Yeah, that pretty much tracks. They've had the moments in the past together already and everything. And Morgan fucking sells this so fucking. She looks terrified.
Said for weeks she retired Becky Lynch.
She just looks absolutely terrified here. It's great shit. Finish comes when Lynch starts cleaning the house, fires off the Bex plotter, but Rodriguez breaks up the disarm her. Oblivion gets 2 with Valkyria making the save and then taking Rodriguez outside. With them going at it outside, back in the ring, we got the manhandle slam finishing Morgan for the titles at 8 minutes and 48 seconds. Obviously, Lynch was the most logical choice at this point to a second Bailey. The second Bailey was attacked, and there's no way you could have her lose here. Just Becky back finally.
Yeah.
WrestleMania. She's not losing. Becky Hogan has to win at WrestleMania. It's a good way to bring her back here, though. She does have a history with Valkyria down in NXT, and Lynch is still a top tier star.
Yeah.
I said it first. I didn't think they would make Valkyria double champ, but she is. She's a double champ. We'll have to see how long that lasts.
Foreshadowing. Stone Cold comes out on his ATV, which he missed the ramp, by the way. The first round.
He did.
He had to put the thing in reverse and then go up the ramp. He runs into the barricade, and we talked about it in the news. A fan sells it like 5 seconds after he hit the barricade. He checks on her, and then he announces the attendance. 63,226, but that does not feel right. Therefore, it's time for a recount. And he goes fan by fan. 1, 2, 3, all the way to 19. The 2-night attendance is announced as 124,693. And beer, of course, is consumed because it's Stone Cold. Austin goes over to check on the woman he crashed into again. Nick Khan is also talking to her, which that's not really, oh shit. We talked about it in the news earlier. We'll see what comes of it. I don't know. But Stone Cold didn't give a shit about it because he was drinking beer and drunk driving an ATV.
He told people to make sure they don't go home drinking and driving.
Hell yeah, brother. Stone Cold. We get a recap of the build to the main event. It's John Cena, Cody Rhodes, WWE Championship. Will it be 17? Will it be Cody stopping the evil John Cena? Who knows? Let's see what happened.
Here we are, main event, Night 2, SmackDown World Title. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. It's not really a SmackDown World Title. I don't know why I said that. It's the fucking undisputed WWE Championship.
Son.
Cena is challenging and comes to the ring with a simple John Cena graphic. Black t-shirt, no crazy colors, no nothing. Just kind of like, I'm ruining wrestling for everybody, people. You're not even going to get a big-time WrestleMania entrance.
Which, can I just
Rhodes,
say, wow. The fact that
shit.
they did that is wow to me because it's his last WrestleMania. No extravagant entrance. It was good.
Rhodes comes to the ring, some motorcycles for entrance. He's not riding one, though. I can't get hurt for the match, right?
Yeah.
His family is in the crowd. Somebody pointed out on X, I think. They said, before the match, Cody's holding his daughter in the outside, and everything's good. His family's there.
I saw this too.
Can somebody find his daughter? Because Cody just left with Brandy.
Yeah.
Where's his daughter? Can somebody
said,
see if she's okay?
John wins. If you don't know, you should know if you're watching this. But the fact that they showed Cody and Brandy going to the fucking RV is like, Cody was so beat up by the loss, they fucking forgot his daughter. She's just still sitting in the stands.
Finish comes when both John Cena and Cody Rhodes are down in the ring. Travis Scott comes out because that apparently needs to be a thing. Taking his sweet ass time getting in the ring too. Like this whole thing was fucking just not good. Like take Travis Scott's stuff out of this and it's a better match.
Yes.
But anyways, Rhodes hits the crossroads, but Scott pulls the referee out. That brings Scott into the ring for the showdown, and Rhodes takes him out relatively easily. Leaving Cena to load up the belt shot. My God, this took forever to happen, though. Rhodes blocks it and teases hitting Cena with the belt, but stops. Cody Rhodes wasn't too good enough to threaten to end AJ Styles' career with the stairs, but this stopped him. Biggest match of his career. This stopped him. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Anyways, that's enough for Cena to kick him low, hit him with the belt. John Cena has absolutely no problem being the bad guy here. You got to make sure you point that out, Michael Cole. for the pin and the title at 25 minutes and 2 seconds. They had to do it. Cena's turn, otherwise would just fall flat. They had to do it. Big waste of time if he didn't win here. Like, what the fuck were you doing? The Rock doesn't show up. John Cena loses. What the fuck were we setting up in the first place? But you know, at the same time, Rhodes had a hell of a run with that title. Big matches throughout the year. Did his job perfectly. This ain't it for Cody Rhodes. He's gonna get that title back from John Cena. It's gonna happen. This is cinema. This is storytelling. This is what had to happen. Just a weird way to get there in the match. I'm sorry. You thought we were going to argue about whether this was the right choice or not. What I'm thinking Cody should have won. No, John Cena had to win here. What are you going to argue about that? You don't think that it's absolutely stupid that Cody could not hit John Cena with the title?
I think you're wrong with that mentality to think.
No, he did it. He did it multiple times throughout the past year.
He did it to AJ in a match that it was allowed to happen in. He did it to Kevin Owens in a match that it was allowed to happen in. He didn't do it because he is a professional and he is a man of the business and he is a man of integrity, and he would not do that to win a title match against John Cena. It is his whole character. So if your example is the fact that he did it in a match that he was allowed to do it in, I think you're wrong. Now, I do
think you're wrong saying that you think I'm wrong.
Who are you to think that I am you? Anyway, Travis Scott being in there made no sense. 100% agree with you. That was stupid, pointless. He took his sweet ass time for no reason, and it did not help the situation. If you take him out and you have the finish be the same way, fine. Travis Scott made this weird. Another person, I know you're going to get to it, and it's in the recap, but I guess we're just going to move on a little bit from it. The person that ruined this the most was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He inserted himself into this at Elimination Chamber. Well, before that, when he was asking for Cody's soul, he made himself seem bigger and that he was going to be a part of this. And guess what? He didn't show up at all. And then he goes on Pat McAfee's show and says, well, I told him that I didn't need to be a part of it and let the story do its thing. What the fuck are you talking about, Dwayne? What are you talking about? You make no sense. So we just put Travis Scott like he's important and integral to this story. He's just a fucking side act. The Rock was the main focal point of the whole fucking thing that led to John Cena turning, and you didn't show up. It would have been so much better. Well, they didn't need me to show up. You're a fucking superstar. You're The Rock.
It kind of needed you to show up.
It kind of needed you to show up. And what made it worse was having Travis Scott show up, because then it puts in the head to people, oh shit, there's Travis, there's the first domino, here comes the second one, it's gonna be the final boss, and you don't show up, and we get a crossroads on Travis Scott, and John Cena wins the title. It was the right choice to let John win. John was gonna win 17 at Mania. It just made sense. The heel turn would have been pointless. Agreed. Where the fuck was The Rock? That's what pissed me off. You can't have Travis Scott come out and do what he did. That was dumb as fuck. Brothers stood at the top of the ramp and just let Fiend play like we didn't hear it enough over the fucking weekend. Just let it play. Travis Scott was pointless. The Rock not showing up pissed me off. I don't hate the finish. John Cena's a 17-time world champion. Tis what tis. We push along. Keep it moving. I'm happy with it. John Cena is the greatest of all time. There you go.
Shawn Michaels the greatest of all time. But anyways, nonetheless, Rhodes, hell of a run with the title. What?
John Cena's my goat. I get why.
Because somebody wrote to him to win the title 17 times?
You know, they wrote Shawn Michaels to win the titles and do all the stuff he did too.
Yeah. Doesn't make you can't say John Cena is the greatest of all time because Shawn Michaels is.
You can't say that because John Cena is in my eyes. We're entitled to our own opinion, brother. That's how this works.
No, it's not how this works. Shawn Michaels is the greatest of all time.
I disagree.
Actually, we got to go back to our top 10. Did you have John Cena as your number one?
I think I had The Rock.
Interesting.
I don't remember.
Anyways, I guess we could go back and do it again because now he's 7-time champion. He beat Ric Flair. We no longer have to hear that Ric Flair is the all-time most world titles ever in WWE. Yeah, records are meant to be broken. Cody is still the biggest star in this company. This does not change anything. He's going to be out for a little while. When he comes back, he's going to come back hot, fast, heavy. This ain't done. John Cena holds the title, till SummerSlam? Cody wins it back? Maybe. John Cena holds the title till December, ruins wrestling for the whole year just for Cody to win it in a big time moment. Who knows? Whatever happens will happen. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Cody Rhodes will be champion again. I still think they need to turn him heel. That's just how I look at it. Cody as a heel is absolutely fantastic. Go watch his shit in New Japan Bullet Club. Absolutely fucking fantastic.
I just think of the clip of, hey, Kenny, get your own fucking dog.
It's great stuff. The whole story of the match was fine. There's a lot of bad moments in it. They needed The Rock. Cena's old. He's not a great wrestler anymore. He didn't look. He looked slow in this match, understandably. He hasn't been wrestling day in day out for the last couple of years. Don't take it the wrong way. It's not a slag. He's not doing it day to day. So he's gonna look slow. And he's old.
It's probably gonna be a theme for the entire year of his matches, to be fair.
People like, oh well, he did it on purpose because he's ruining me. No, you don't purposely put on a bad match at WrestleMania. No. It wasn't a horrible match. It is still John Cena. The 4 moves of doom. He did add a 5th one, but thank God he didn't do it because that 5th one was not good. But the big thing here, this sets up so many options for the rest of the year. It's going to be great shit. It's going to be fantastic. Cena and Scott celebrate to finish the show, and The Rock he doesn't even come out for the celebration.
He was in Hawaii. He was at home watching on his couch. Listen, it was
fucking real.
It was a good WrestleMania. Night 1 and night 2, it was a good WrestleMania. For people saying that's the worst main event I've ever seen, chill the fuck out. There has been way worse WrestleManias. And some that did involve John Cena. The John Cena and The Miz finish at WrestleMania was stupid. How about Bret Hart and Yokozuna and Hulk Hogan coming out? That one ring a bell?
How about Shinsuke and AJ weren't the main event, were they?
No, that match was all right, but the ending was stupid.
That match should have been so much better than it was, though.
Yeah, they wanted to turn Shinsuke heel with a low blow. It was dumb. Yeah, I enjoyed WrestleMania, man. It was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't amazing. I also think some of us may have been spoiled from how good WrestleMania 40 was, to be fair, because WrestleMania 40 was an all-timer.
We're probably also spoiled with how fucking good WrestleMania 39 was.
That too. We had we had amazing, and then good. It was a good mania.
WrestleMania 41's a mid 41. I don't think it breaks the top 20, but it's not in the bottom 10.
That's a long conversation to break down WrestleManias, but I hear you.
I'm old school. I still think, the first 6 WrestleManias are top 10 of all time.
Fair.
Anyways, yeah, cool. We're here. We happened. It happened. It had to happen. It happened. We can argue about it all day. We can talk about if the match was stupid, if the match was good, if John Cena sucks, if John Cena's good, if Cody Rhodes is done, if Cody Rhodes is a heel, not a heel, if he should have done the belt tight, whatever. We can talk about forever. It doesn't change the fact that what happened needed to happen, and it sets up the rest of the year absolutely ridiculously well because John Cena can just be a dick for the rest of the year.
He's killing it, by the way, being a dick. It's good shit. Any final thoughts left for you from WrestleMania before we move along?
Yeah, the night 2 was way better than night 1. The first 2 matches more than carried the show, and then you have the big moment at the end to wrap it up. It's a good way to go. Way better than first night. If night 2 wasn't as good as it was, if night 2 was as on par with night 1, then it would be one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. I'm sorry. But they night 2 saved it. It's not a classic any means, like it's just finished saying. We could argue about that forever, where it places in all-time WrestleManias, but we really have to go back and watch all the WrestleManias and then
hardcore John Cena fan. It's true. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was a classic. It was not a great WrestleMania. It was a good WrestleMania. That's where I rank it.
It's just WrestleMania comes around, you expect surprises. There weren't a lot.
No, there wasn't. Where were you, Rock? You son of a bitch.
Where were you, Big E? You fucking lazy fuck.
No neck fucker.
Wow. Okay. Wow. You weren't there. Wow. Holy shit. Okay. No,
I'm
that's
trying to
too
like
far.
talk shit to maybe he'll turn heel and actually do what he should have done.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Overall, good WrestleMania. Not great. Not bad.
Fair enough. Normally on this show, Arcade, that would be it. We did the last show of the week.
No, but you decided we wanted to do fucking everything.
Nah. You actually made the call. Nah.
No. You made the
did.
call on Raw.
No, don't do that.
You
Yeah, I
made the
did.
call on Raw. And then I'm
Which
like, well,
caused
might as well
you-
throw NXT in there too.
Are you mad about it?
No, not at all.
Let's talk about Raw because Raw was pretty good. I'd say Raw was spectacular.
Raw was better than WrestleMania.
It was better than WrestleMania Night 1.
It was better than both the nights. Raw fucking cooked.
It cooked, bro. It cooked. It cooked. I can't. Yeah.
Like it's Monday again because we already did Monday, but we're doing Monday again, and we have one last show from the T-Mobile Arena. I asked the question, like, the Vegas Golden Knights are in the playoffs and they were hosting at home, but I'm pretty sure the NHL scheduled it around because they played Sunday night in T-Mobile and then they played last night in T-Mobile. So, but I'm pretty sure when the NHL came around, they're like, "Fuck Vegas, fuck, how we're gonna."
I wonder how the fans were for Game 1 of that series. I'm sure it was probably loud in there. Hockey fans.
Oh, there Vegas is actually they got
They-
good fans.
Even though WrestleMania was right around the corner.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, wrestling fans, hockey fans. There's no, I know a lot of hockey fans. They're not into wrestling. I'm probably the only one that I know. Anyways, WrestleMania came and went, and while it doesn't even come close to ranking as one of the all-time greatest WrestleManias, a lot of shit went down over the weekend, and the landscape of the WWE is way different than it was before the weekend.
Yeah, I'm a hockey fan and I'm a wrestling fan, but you neglected me. Anyway,
I don't consider Americans hockey fans. It's our fucking sport. Leave it alone.
no. I don't really know how to reply to that. Fuck you. I'm a fan of hockey. The fuck? No. Fuck you. Take off that hat. No, take off that hat if we're doing that. That's a Blue Jays hat, yeah? It's a baseball. That's our sport.
We
Take
only
it
have
off.
one fucking team up here.
No, take it off. It's our sport. Fuck you. You can't be a fan. It's a terrible mentality to have. I love your
Blue
sport.
Jays. The Blue Jays.
Hey, thank you for hockey.
The Blue Jays have won back-to-back.
Hey.
World Series.
I look. You see this? I'm acknowledging.
Look,
Canada.
you cheer for one of the original six, so you're okay. You're okay.
I was acknowledging Canada there. Anyway, we opened with a long recap, of course. Hey, WrestleMania happened. Here's what happened. John Cena gets us going. Same entrance from Mania. Black screen, just his name. But Cena did not like how he was introduced. He hands the ring announcer a paper and tells him to do it the proper way. Cena is the unseen 17 greatest of all time, but he says that he doesn't owe us an apology. On Friday, everyone bullied him, but now that he has gold, you all want to cheer? He says it's an unhealthy relationship and not the way you treat your wife or child. The people should give him an apology. But we get a "we're not sorry" chant. I thought it sounded like a "we're sorry" chant.
No, it was
Was
definitely we're not sorry.
Okay. Cena calls the people pathetic, and they mean nothing to him before soaking in more negative chants. Cena says he's taken all kinds of shots over the years, and this is not going to be the crowd that breaks him. What matters is the 36 dates.
Oh, this was so fucking
This was good. Shows up on the screen, 36 dates, and then they start counting down. So no matter what happens, Cena is on his way out, and he runs down the dates he's already showed up to. We get down to 27 dates. Cena says this is dates, not matches. It is appearances. So he could have a match. Maybe not. Maybe he comes out and does this. It's an appearance. Fans chant that he doesn't wrestle, but he doesn't have to. All he has to do is show up and do this. When that countdown hits 0, the professional wrestling countdown stops cold. Now, of course, there will be another Raw and another champion, but the title that was held by Bruno, Steve Austin, Roman Reigns, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, everybody else, it's coming home with him. And all he has to do is keep playing the fans like the puppets that we are, because they lost their best chance to stop him last night with Cody Rhodes. The reality is there is no one in WWE that has the strength, speed, or wink wink, ruthless aggression of John Cena. However, Cena does have a heart. He tells us to take out our phones and take pictures because the last real champion is here. Randy Orton pops up behind him and catches an RKO. Cena into the microphone as he sees Randy, just goes shit and eats that RKO. Backlash is in St. Louis. I assume the main event is going to be Randy Orton versus John Cena. It's 2009 all over again in the WWE.
That was an outstanding promo from Cena. Absolutely outstanding. The countdown was fantastic because
Yes.
36 appearances.
Not matches, appearances.
It's unreal how Ashley is flown as a heel. On apps, it's
I mean,
It's ridiculous.
He's dealt with the fans berating him for fucking years. So I mean, he's probably just built up ammo. It's good shit. He's killing it, man.
That leads us into the first match tonight, women tag team title match rematch. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez versus Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria.
No way they would change titles like that. They
No.
just happened last night.
No, couldn't possibly have gotten here somehow other way. Finish comes when Valkyria sends Rodriguez outside but knocks her into Lynch. With that being enough of a distraction, letting Morgan hit Oblivion for the pin and the titles win at 11 minutes and 54 seconds. This really turned into a hell of a back and forth match. And, I do, this is kind of old school. The rapid title changes is something from like me growing up watching wrestling.
Yeah.
Lynch and Valkyria got their big moment at WrestleMania and with the surprise return, but they are not a regular team, and this brings back some stabilities to the titles with the long-term champions holding them again. It also frees Valkyria from being a double champion, which did not need to happen at all. Like I said before WrestleMania, I'm like, there's no way they actually put 2 titles on her. But this is the big payoff here. Post-match, Rodriguez and Morgan leave, and Lynch absolutely goes apeshit on Valkyria, beating her down and screaming at her. Lynch teases leaving a few times, but comes back in for a few manhandle slams. They're either going to make Becky Lynch the second Intercontinental Champion of all time, or they're going to give Valkyria by far her biggest fucking push to date.
Yeah, on the road to WrestleMania, I can almost guarantee on this show I have said, well, maybe they do Lyra versus Becky at WrestleMania because there's the history. As for the match, I enjoyed the match. It was good. Liv Morgan is incredible. I'm not saying that because I'm a huge fan. She's really gotten really good from when I saw her debut. But besides that, the big point of this was the beatdown. And I saw a lot of people complain, well, what was the point of this? What was the point of that? Listen, Becky is the one that attacked Bayley. Fair? Is that a fair assessment? I think so. Becky attacked Bayley backstage to get a chance to win more gold to add to her ego. She then loses them because Lyra is the one that fucked up and got pinned. So Becky's pissed, takes it out on Lyra, and now we're going to go after, Lyra and the IC title. It makes sense. Bayley's going to come back at some point and put herself, and we're going to figure out who attacked Bayley, and it's Becky. And that's a tale as old as time, is Becky versus Bayley. And keeping it rolling, man. And I say I don't lie to the people. I don't. I didn't take notes for Raw or NXT. I know. I suck. I think I was wrestled out. I was kind of done with it. But nonetheless, we get a look at Paul Heyman, who turned on Roman Reigns and CM Punk to join Seth Rollins on Saturday. New Day, of course, is coming to the ring, and they get like a nice little nod of approval from Karrion Kross here. Even WWE posted this moment on social media with a caption saying, maybe this is what happens when you listen to Karrion Kross. Wink, wink. I don't know if it's going to lead to anything. I'm just speculating. The New Day, they come out to talk. They tell us to get down on their knees, of course, to thank God for them, that they are the greatest tag team of all time, and no one, dead or alive, can touch them. Alpha Academy come out. Maxine Dupree bringing up the Academy. They beat New Day in 60 seconds. And I said this while we were watching. Maxine was kind of flawless on the mic here. She killed it in that little time she had there. So Dupree dubs them the Minutemen, the New Day of the Minutemen. That's enough, and there is a title match, and a referee comes on down.
And here we are, tag team title match, New Day versus Alpha Academy. So weird still calling the Alpha Academy. It really is. But they're still coming out to the logo and everything. So
I thought they were going to be called like the Alpha Babes or something because they got those shirts. Maybe it was just a shirt. I don't know.
New Day is defending, but the lights go dim. And who is it? Rusev is back. New Day gets the fuck out of there. And Rusev absolutely destroys the Academy with no trouble whatsoever. So no match happened. It's been rumored that Rusev was coming back. He had signed. Big E said it before WrestleMania that he is definitely coming back. He's definitely re-signed. And I'm not really sure how far Rusev will go, but, better than having to do nothing because WWE won't bench their talent that they bring in.
No, they use them. And there's enough positions for him to go around. Rusev, and he looked dominant. Just classic Rusev destroy there. Let's go to the Judgment Day Clubhouse, shall we? Where they're celebrating their new titles. Obviously, Liv and Raquel just won, and Dom, the new Intercontinental Champion. Finn comes in and he stares down Dom here, but he does break into a smile and he congratulates him. With Carlito, says he thinks him and Finn should go, get some titles of their own here. Which, probably not. Io Sky comes out and she says last night was the best night of her career because she beat the best in the world to prove that she is the best. No one will ever forget her because she is the genius of the sky and the women's world champion. We hear some music start playing, and it sounds awfully familiar. And the NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Vacour comes out to say she wants to fight the best and challenges on for a match right now. Adam Pearce comes out, and me and RK both were like, stop it.
Fucking do it.
What the fuck are you doing here? And all Adam Pearce says is, you both want the match? Vegas, do we want the match? Bitch, yes, we want the match. Let's do it.
And we get that match. Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer, champion versus champion. Finish comes when they're both down in the ring, and there's a good old fight forever chant. Haven't heard one of those in a fucking hot minute in the WWE.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, bet. They go up top where Sky hits a super Spanish fly.
Clean.
Sky then gets up, and here is Roxanne Perez to ruin all the fun to jump Sky for the DQ at 13 minutes and 58 seconds. They were having a fucking good match, and thankfully they did go with the most logical ending. You can't have either of them eat the pin here.
No.
What mattered here, big mattered point here, was Vaquer got a quick look on the main roster with top talent, and she lived up to the task
easily.
The ending keeps everything going and boosts Perez versus Vaquer for the title this week on NXT. Post match, Julia, also from NXT, shows up and runs in to go after Sky, with Perez beating up Vaquer. Cue Rhea Ripley for the save. Ripley stares down Julia, and holy fuck, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the villains leave with Ripley saying she's coming for Sky's title.
Yeah, I want to add a little bit to that. Julia as a heel works way better for her. I can admit that Stephanie Vacour got over and more popular than Julia. Clearly, you can't deny facts. But I think Julia as a heel is going to be good for her. Did you see the moment when Julia showed up and her and Roxanne just like looked at each other, nodded, crossed, and took out their opponents? Really cool. Looking forward to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley versus Stephanie Vacour is going to feed families. Just putting that out there. Looking forward to it. Jey Uso, we get to look at his rise to the main event from a young child that he was. He comes out for the World Heavyweight Championship. He does that thing. He does the yeeting. Yeah, that happened. And it happened. And it continued. And it carried on. And we were yeeting. And then the crowd said one more time. So he said, all right, bet. And we yeeted some more. He says he's ready to put the work in every week, and he asks for to yeet. But Sami Zayn comes out. He gives Jay a big hug. He said it was hard for him to miss WrestleMania because just like Jay, he is a game day player, and it's not hard to not be in the ring. But he wanted to be the first one to come out tonight, stand in the ring, and congratulate him on being the champion because he does deserve it. They celebrate hard here.
Tell me for like half a second you didn't think Sammy was going to attack Jay.
Not even half a second. Multiple fucking times I thought he was going to do it. In the ring, Jimmy came out, they celebrated. And I was like, all right. And there was a moment where Jay was on the top rope, and I was like, Sammy. And then they went up the ramp, and I was like, fucking slam him in the video board. Sammy, let's do it. Didn't happen. But we'll see if it is Sammy, if there's a turn. I don't know if I won't say necessarily they planted seeds, because they didn't, but there was moments that had us going, oh, okay. But nothing happened. Nice moment. Those three guys that went to war together, that's part of the bloodline. Cool little moment to see. And then Logan Paul is denying any knowledge of interference in this match, by the way. He says he's going to face anyone, anywhere, anytime. AJ is fine with the loss. He moves on. He says he's ready to bounce back. Karrion Kross and Scarlett come in, and he's yelling about Styles about being the best around here, but now he's legitimized Logan Paul. Styles does not want to be the old evil version of himself that he was before. He tells Kross to go solve the problem for himself if he wants a solution. And Kross, maybe I will. Maybe I will. I don't know what that means or what Karrion's going to do, but I'm ready to see what the fuck happens. We get to come back from a break, and this. Okay, so
Gunther is the best fucking heel to ever fucking do this shit.
So we were watching live. When we watched live on Netflix via RK's version, we get to see what's going on in the commercial breaks. So we get to see Gunther coming up. And so we come back from this quote unquote commercial break. He's screaming at commentary, yelling at Cole about, Cole saying negative things. Cole takes a shot after he shoved Pat, and Cole says, well, I'm not the one that got tapped out, just saying. He goes to choke out Michael Cole. Pat runs up and knocks him back. Then we get security and all that, because Gunther grabs up Pat here after the punch. We got security, staff, the boys from Pat McAfee's show trying to get involved. They jump the barricade. But he chokes out Pat. Gunther, Pat's purple in the face. They do get Gunther off him finally. And in the notes I'm reading, Pat McAfee is revived, but he has to be helped up. He gets going. So then we go to break again.
You gotta sell it, Cole. You gotta sell it there, Pat. You got 3 minutes of selling. You gotta sell this shit for 3 minutes, Pat.
We're watching because we go to commercial, but as I said, we're still watching the feed. Top right corner pops up on Netflix, and it's like 3 minutes countdown, and Pat is selling, coughing, drinking water, selling. Eventually, we go
high-fiving fans somehow still.
Yeah, I'm good. Cole and Pat are going to the trainer's room. Joe Tessitore is taking over commentary here. Cole starts to go back to the ring. Pierce is like, take the rest of the night off, man. Cole says, no. Gunther may have broke my nose, but he's not going to let some bully not let him doing his job. The crowd popped big time for this. Cole comes out to, of course, a big pop to join Tess on commentary, with the fans cheering very loudly for Michael Cole, which Cole doesn't get all the time. He deserves it. Cole's a legend. We talked about it, man. Are we going to get to the point where Cole is the best commentator of all time? Or will he always be behind Jim Ross?
He'll always be behind Jim Ross, but he's definitely a solid second.
Yeah. And what I mean by that is lead guy. He's not a color guy. He's the lead. And yeah, it's hard to top JR.
Jim Ross is the best to ever do it.
Facts.
Intercontinental title match, Penta versus Dominic Mysterio. Mysterio rolls out for a breather in the match, and Finn Balor is giving him a pep talk. This leads to Penta Hurricanrana. How did fucking Joe say it? He said Hurricane Rana.
Yeah.
Joe said Hurricane Rana. I was blown away by that. It's a Hurricanrana.
Get your ass back to SmackDown. Can we talk about
Uh,
Tess, by the way? I'm sorry, I fucking skipped over this part in my head. When they cut the Tess taking like over commentary, he didn't even have his fucking blazer on. He just set it over the top of the thing. And somebody put a comment and they said Tess laid that blazer out and put up the little cuffs just in case somebody else wanted to get into some trouble. He was going to throw hands.
So yeah, back to the match. With
Sorry.
Mysterio out, Finn Balor giving the pep talk, Penta Hurricanrana's Balor into Mysterio. But then cue JD McDonough to shove Penta
Yes.
off the top rope. The Frogs 619 and the Frog Splash retained the title at 802. McDonough being back is another boost for the team, but it feels like Balor's days as part of the lineup are numbered. There's something interesting about the idea of Balor constantly acting like the leader, but never being able to win anything
Yeah.
or even come up with a fucking plan.
Yeah.
This is very well leading to a shift in power, and that could be very interesting. I still think JD goes with Finn when they leave, though. When he leaves,
Maybe. I think JD posted on Instagram a picture of like them on the ramp as they were going celebrating the win. He's like, "All right, I'm back. Everybody gonna be on good terms now. Everything fine." So, we'll see. Alrighty, that was the main event, by the way, the final match. But it ain't the finish to this legendary Raw after Mania. We get an old school style newsreel on El Grande Americanos win at WrestleMania. Uh, shot of celebrations all in the streets. Awesome. I fucking love this gimmick. It's hilarious and I love it. Just the
it's
fact that
good
they're
shit.
using the AI to make these news articles and putting them in is good stuff. But what we're all waiting for is what the hell's going on with Seth and Paul Heyman. They do come out. The fans are chanting for Punk or Roman, but Rollins starts talking about how he is the visionary. And he's also the winner of the main event of WrestleMania. But CM Punk comes out, and CM Punk does not have a microphone in hand. He is taping up his wrist. He's ready to fight. They do brawl, but where is it? Punk does get the upper hand for a minute, and then he turns his attention to Paul, which allows Seth to beat him down. Paul picks up the mic and says that this is how things are going to be the way all the way till WrestleMania 42. There's a new reigning, defending, undisputed top star in WWE, and he is Seth Rollins. Now they did the classic here. They did the here's the final credit little roll thing at the bottom. Like, is that it? Is that it? Hell no, that's not it. Roman Reigns music hits. Seth throws Punk outside. Roman charges in the ring and he hits a spear on Seth, leaving Paul all alone, setting him up for a big spear or a Superman punch here. Or he does drop him with Superman punch. He sets him up for the spear. Sorry. And then he gets caught as he goes for the spear by Braun Breaker. Uh, yes, thank you. Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins stare down, and then Braun sprints at him, but goes past him and drops Punk with a spear. Seth is hugging Braun Breaker. They tells him to take out Roman again. Roman fights back, but Breaker does run around the ring and gets his big super spear through the barricade. Rollins stops Punk, poses with Heyman and Breaker, the two Paul Heyman guys. And Braun has had history with Paul. They've had moments together, and this is just awesome. This new faction. Braun's about to get the mega push. You've sent the picture. I've seen the picture of the original Evolution with Ric Flair, Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista. Well, they have their Triple H and Seth Rollins. They have their Batista and Braun Breaker. They have their Ric Flair and Paul Heyman. Will they add another member to be that young Randy Orton? You speculate. Maybe it's Austin Theory. That would be pretty cool.
I have said for a long time that Austin Theory
Yeah.
is going to be a star in the business.
Mhm.
Just find the right fit for him.
Yeah. I love this. This was awesome.
Honestly, Austin Theory probably got fucked by Vince taking a personal interest in him.
Yeah, because he became labeled as one of Vince's. Yeah, most likely. I loved this. You know what? As for the whole show here, this was a memorable, legendary Raw after WrestleMania, start to finish, from the Cena to the Becky turn to the surprises to the Paul Heyman guys. I loved this Monday Night Raw, RK. They killed it. I think my voice is going away, but we're almost done. But I loved it.
Yeah, this was a very wrestling-like show, and it always is, and that's not
Yeah.
really the point of post WrestleMania Raw. It's not about the wrestling. It's about the fallout. It's about what's moving forward, what's happening. We got a big reveal in the end, and we got several matches and feuds being teased for the future. We got some crazy fucking return debuts, like everything. This show felt like a very traditional post WrestleMania Raw, and it's kind of nice to see because the last few post WrestleMania Raws haven't gone this well.
Very true. Very good point. This one was awesome. It made you lock in, and one, I'm excited for what happens on SmackDown, but I'm ready to watch Raw again next week.
Yeah, and that leads us into the final recap of the mega edition of Top Rope Renegades, bringing you This Week in Wrestling, episode 50. If WrestleMania could keep their WrestleMania schedule on track to be the same thing every year, we could be on 52 right now, but we're not. So, yeah, Tuesday night, just last night, NXT is live from the Blue Live Theater in Las Vegas, Nevada, where the roast of WrestleMania happened. And this is the WWE's tour of Las Vegas coming to a conclusion.
Yeah, man, we're done with Stand and Deliver. Still in Vegas, so it's time for a big one. We have the women's title match that was announced on Stand and Deliver that the winner of that Fatal 4-Way would go up against the women's tag champions, which were Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria for not even 24 hours. And they will be facing, of course, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Other than that, it's time for just the fallout, similar to Raw. Fallout, what's going on, what's happening, and getting ready for the next major show they do. So let's do it. We get that long Stand and Deliver recap, which was awesome. We talked about it, and go watch it. They killed it. Good stuff. And NXT, man.
Yeah, and that leads us in the first match tonight. Women's tag team titles: Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez versus Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan. The finish comes when Raquel is going for the Tejana Bomb, which is broken up, and then Paxley hits her 450 to connect on Morgan, to connect on Raquel, with Morgan making the save. The cemetery driver is loaded up, but Morgan comes in off a blind tag with a top rope code breaker, which looked really fucking cool, to drop Paxley. That means Raquel sets up the Tejana Bomb again, which was actually kind of cool they got there because she kind of picked her up. It was just kind of cool they got it into the Tejana Bomb. She hits that on Dolan, and that sets up the Oblivion from Liv to retain the titles at 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Dolan and Paxley were a fantastic choice from NXT to go after the titles, and the match was not bad by any means. The two titles changes in the last few days made the belts feel like they could be in a bit more jeopardy here, and that helped a lot. I think it's only a matter of time. I think they should rotate that title through all three shows, since that's the only tag team title they have for the woman.
Agreed.
Morgan and Rodriguez are turning into the big bads of the division, and that is something the titles have been needing for some time now.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it like that until you literally just said those words. Liv Morgan is so popular as a star that she's became, and having her carry a title makes it feel more important. And Raquel is also she's getting more recognition now that she's been back, and actually she was dealing with all that health stuff, so it's good to see her. Lexus King is shown, and he's asking Penn and Teller to bring his Heritage Cup back, but Lexus must admit that magic is real, and he has to defend the cup tonight. He says deal, and he gets the cup back. We take a look at NXT stars that competed at Bloodsport. We haven't. We need to watch a Bloodsport. Maybe just go find one of the ones from the past. I've never watched them. They look intense, very hard hitting. That's the whole thing with Josh Barnett and Bloodsport. Dark State, they mock Miles Bourne and the No Quarter Catch crew, which Javon Evans comes in, and he interrupts, and he's like, no, I'll tag with you. We can handle it. So a tag team match is made for later between Miles Bourne, Javon Evans taking on two members of Dark State. Don't know with who. Ricky Saints comes out, and he's happy to have retained the title.
They kind of have the Freebird rule. You don't know who you're gonna...
Yeah. They mentioned that on commentary later. That was pretty good. I like the Freebird rule. It's interesting. You never know what you're gonna get. Ricky's happy. He has retained the title, and even his mother doesn't think much of Ethan Page. Lexus King, though, interrupts. He's happy to have his cup back. He wants the North American title. King says he'll even put the cup on the line in a cup versus title match next week. And Ricky says, deal. And in this moment, RK said, he's losing the cup tonight.
Well, I said he's losing.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know. I just meant tonight. We got there eventually. But anyways, unless I couldn't think exactly how you said it, but you were pissed off at me for a second, like you usually are. And I'm like, no, tonight, dog, tonight.
I don't remember. All I remember
Kurt's always yelling at me. We know that's a fact. So he was yelling at me, and I had to defend myself.
I
backed into a corner.
I did say the words for Lexus's mystery opponent being Noam Dar, maybe, and I got that right.
Did I yell at you about it though? No, you just yell at me.
Thea Hale is happy with Hank and Tank and
Thea.
Soruka.
Yeah,
she's so excited for winning at Stand and Deliver. But Jada Parker and Fatal Influence aren't happy with Hale's energy. Jasmine Nix and JC Jane tell Fallon Henley, you can freaking deal with it. And I just thought this was cool. Henley says she will, since the other two never could. Just if you remember the story of Thea Hale and Fallon Henley in that turn, just an old rivalry. These two are going to go at it later, and yeah, let them cook.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thea Hale is just a ball of energy, and everybody's just like, "Holy fuck, woman!"
Some people are like, "Yeah," and most people actually in the NXT locker room are like, "Calm the fuck down."
And that leads us into the Heritage Cup match: Lexus Kane versus a surprise opponent. It's a returning Noam Dar. Dar strikes. Finish comes when Dar is striking away, but he gets caught with a super kick and a 2 count. Kane gets up and goes to top rope to hit a swanton, but he misses. And then Dar, with the surprise spinning elbow, gives Dar the cup back at 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Andrade does it better, but plain and simple. That spinning elbow.
Yeah.
Noam Dar is just, it seems slow. So whereas Andrade's is just boom, just what the fuck just happened. They really didn't have a lot of time to get going here. And Dar beat him pretty decisively. After the cup has had so many things going on with it recently, it's really started to wonder, what are they going to do with it? Are they going to keep it around? Are they going to do some kind of unification match? Are they going to turn it into a belt? Who knows?
Yeah.
It's just, it's a weird thing. I don't know. I've never really gotten into it, but it is what it is. So we'll see what happens. Dar might reinstate the rules. Who knows? But at the moment, it's just a weird title.
It's still kind of one of the last few things sticking around from the NXT UK era, so it's kind of cool to have the cup around. I think Dar will probably reinstate the old rules, and then they'll just do what they were doing beforehand. Roxanne Perez is shown she's annoyed because people keep taking her spotlight, but she is ready to win the women's NXT title again tonight.
Yeah, that leads us into Fallon Henley versus Thea Hale. Finish comes when Hale throws down Fallon, but Fallon comes back and catches Thea with something like a reverse exploder suplex. Hard to explain it, but it was really cool. Jasmine Nix is distracting the referee, but Jane kicks Fallon Henley by mistake instead. Thea back in with her double underhook, spinning slam into a Kimura, makes Henley tap at 2 minutes and 25 seconds.
What did we call the tap? It was a Gunther tap.
It was
quick. It was quick. Oba Femi comes out to talk to the people. Femi gets right to the point, saying he did exactly what he promised he would do at Stand and Deliver. Oba gets a big chance, and then he praises Javon Evans for being better than he expected, but fuck Trick Williams. That's basically what that was. Fuck that guy. You can't stand Trick because he is just that much better than Trick. Trick comes out and says he wants his one-on-one match. Dog, I want my match. And then unexpectedly, Joe Hendry comes out. I did not
fucking Trick said his fucking name.
He did say his name, and that's what happens. Trick says he's not, or Joe says he's not seeing the same Trick that he tagged with last year. The truth is that Trick is entitled instead of hungry, and now he's just a whiny bitch. I was cheering Joe Hendry on very hard right here because thank you. Say what he needs to hear. Williams wants to talk about what he believes. Hendry had his moment and got beaten up at WrestleMania. Joe says, well, I was in the ring and you were in the stands. Fucking burn. He'll be defending his title at Rebellion, but he has business with Oba. Trick
You
tries
know
to
they
get-
wrote that line for Hendry on all the shit that was said on the internet.
Yeah, probably. You're right. Trick tries to get involved, but he gets tossed out, and then we get a stare down between the two champions. What does this lead to?
No fucking clue.
Do we do? Oba said the words, "Don't make the same mistake Moose made." Joe Hendry.
No idea.
I said this. Joe Hendry, I believe, could be the first TNA
World
person
champion one day? Yep. I said it before you did.
to win the NXT championship.
World champion.
An NXT championship.
World
That's
champion.
not a world championship.
I didn't state what champion. I just said world champion of WWE.
Yep. And that is the WWE Undisputed Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship.
And the NXT championship? Yep.
We can argue. You really want to go down this route? Because when we play the fucking game and we try and guess
That's
the wrestler, no,
That's different.
you mother.
That's different.
Luca Crusifino comes to meet Stax in the desert. Crusifino yells at Stax for turning on the D'Angelo family, and he wants this to be solved. Stax asks if Crusifino knows why he was invited out here. Crusifino looks off into the desert, and then we get a, oh,
Are they going to kill Luca?
is he dead? Did they kill him? I don't know. So Ruka is back with Zarya. She's all happy, but Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez come in to mock her. Ruka tells them to get out of there and threatens to come for their titles next. We see Trick Williams breaking a bunch of stuff, and it cuts the camera feed out here. And you just hear Ava screaming at him and telling him to.
Yeah, I'm guessing he wasn't supposed to destroy the camera feed.
No, I think he was because the NXT Anonymous X account was like recording from a distance and caught the whole thing. I love that account, by the way. That there's just this random anonymous person with the camera just lurking.
Leads us into our next match: Dark State versus Javon Evans and Miles Bourne. This match was just kind of all over the place, but the finish comes when everything is just breaking down. Everybody's involved. All of Dark State is involved. Evans goes for a springboard flying air or something, and that's just a mistake because Osiris Griffin just snatches him out of there and just drops him for a huge slam. Javon's got to learn that be careful with that springboard. You're gonna get fucked up sometimes,
especially with the massive dudes that will just catch you and kill you if you land wrong.
This leads to a double powerbomb to finish Miles Bourne at 9 minutes and 57 seconds. You know, Dark State might not be anything original, but what matters here is that they're being treated as something important. They have come in, they have made an impact, and they've racked up some wins here. All the people involved are not exactly anything special, but out of all of them, Shaquan Sugars is probably the most interesting of the group. But they're definitely be presented as something big here, and it's going to make it. It's going to be successful. Mid-match, Tavian Heights and Charlie Dempsey come out, and they're watching from the ring. And at the end of the match here, they're just looking down. They're not mad at them, but they're disappointed.
Yeah, that's worse than being mad. Sean Spears is shown talking to Ava when Yoshiki Inamura comes in.
So fucking
this
good.
Moment was so good. He is acting his ass off here. He's like, it's time for me to go back home to Noah. Thank you. Shakes the hand. He says, I just wanted to win the tag titles one time. We were so close. He puts his head down, and Ava's like, okay, next week, you and Josh can have a shot at the titles. Briggs comes in. He's like, how did you do that? Inamura looks up, smiles, going back to, breaking his character he was put on. He said, old Japanese secret. He fucking played a fucker with this. It was good. That was hilarious. Tony D is shown going to Rizzo's hotel room. And they can't believe what Stax has been doing. And then they realize, shit, we haven't heard from Luca. Tony says it's going to have to come to blows with Stax here. Riz wants them to work it out, but we are beyond that point. Tony D wants Riz to go to a safe house, and she does agree to this. What the fuck is going on with the family? It's crazy. It's crazy. It
It's
is
real mafia shit going down.
yeah,
Like
it
that's
is
some casino. That's casino shit going down right now.
it is announced that there will be a face-to-face of some sort between Tony D and Stacks next week when they do the usual here's what's happening next week. Ricky Saints is happy that Noam Dar won the Heritage Cup, but Lexus King is still going to get his title shot because he's a man of his word. Ethan comes in to say something, but King decks Saints. Ethan leans down and says, well, I guess we'll pick this up at another time. We see Andre Chase walking with the
He's
suitcase.
fucking back, baby.
He puts the suitcase on a table, opens it, and pulls out a Chase U sweater. We're fucking back, baby. Chase U's back. Can't wait till next week. Let's go.
That leads us into our main event, women's NXT Championship match. Stephanie Becker defending against Roxanne Perez. Finish of the match comes when Perez puts Becker into the crossface, but Becker flips it into a pinning attempt in the middle of the ring. It's all reversed. There's some more near falls, and then there's a moment where Roxanne has Stephanie in the corner. She loads up the pop rocks, but Stephanie blocks it, and then Stephanie sets her up for the dragon screw leg whip off the ropes, which always looks absolutely nasty. Which sets up the SVB, the Stephanie Becker bomb, to retain the title at 11 minutes and 39 seconds. I've said this a few times. I'm going to say it again because I'll probably have to say it again down the road. But this very well might be it for Perez in NXT, as there is a grand total of absolutely nothing left for her to do there. She's dominated the division, and it's now in the capable hands of all the rest. Like, let Becker, Grace, Julia, Jada, Soul, let them all run things for a while. And let Perez see what she can do on the main roster, where she does she belongs there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'll say that again in like 3 weeks, so we'll see what happens. But post match, Julia comes out for the stare down. Jordan Grace is also, in the crowd watching, just watching. You can't forget about, everyone's eyes are on Julia and Stephanie, but you can't forget about Jordan.
There's this whole, the juggernaut over there. I do think that was Roxanne's farewell in NXT. She'll probably come back and do things. I know we've said that. I've said that. But this gave me Braun Breaker vibes when him and Baron retained the title.
Said that fucking last time too.
No, I said that about Fraxium.
I don't know.
I said that about Fraxium if they lose, which I don't know what the fuck's going on with Fraxium either. But I think you know what it is. You go out on your shield, and I think this was Roxanne's.
She's gone out on her shield 4 times.
This is it, dude. Okay, she's going up now. All right,
you're grasping at straws here because none of this makes sense.
What are they doing with her?
They teased her and Bailey. That went nowhere. Who the fuck knows?
I don't know. I think this is it though. Finally, because we're after WrestleMania and now we can build shit. If not, see you next week, Roxanne. Yeah, there's the shit with Cora too, where Cora walked out of her. I don't fucking know.
Who the fuck knows, man?
I liked NXT, post NXT, Stand and Deliver, Fallout, building up the future of what's to come. The ending though, with Stephanie in the ring, Julia on the ramp, Jordan Grace in the distance. Yeah, let's go NXT. Keep cooking and carry that momentum.
Yeah, man, fucking lots of fun, solid Fallout show. I think Raw and NXT were better than WrestleMania. That's they fucking killed it.
A stretch on NXT's, but all right.
No, NXT better than night 1. Raw better than night 2. You can at the very least say even NXT was better than night 1, minus the main event. Did Tony D'Angelo fucking cinema shit? Fucking
no.
Thea Hale.
You're reaching on that one. You're reaching on that one. I'm willing to give you Raw, but I don't know. The fact that you brought Thea Hale up to it, like that's such a big deal.
It is 100%.
I love
she's
Thea,
gonna dominate. Gonna dominate
the weekly show
division.
Over Jey Uso winning the world title, over Tiffany Stratton beating Charlotte Flair, over a fantastic main event. And you can't have that caveat. Well, minus the main event. No.
You can't absolutely have that caveat. Anyway, solid follow show from Santa Liver. They've started up some fresh stories. They're dealing with everything else that happened over the weekend. Curious to see where this all goes. That's a good feeling to have because you're just looking forward to see what the next week brings. Gosh, everything's just NXT just fires on all cylinders. Rarely do they put on a bad anything. I think over last year we can maybe count on one hand how many bad shows they've had.
Yeah, man, they're awesome. Watch NXT. This is a close to a super show, episode 50. But we have to ask the question. There was a lot of wrestling we just recapped. But I have to ask the question always. What was your show of the week?
Well, we obviously both sucked at
Predictions?
no, we both sucked at the first week of shows leading into WrestleMania. Recapping them.
Yeah,
We were not good. I apologize for the for the bad reviews. But we showed up for WrestleMania. We showed up for WrestleMania. The go home week shows don't you can't expect much of them. But we showed up for WrestleMania. We showed up for Raw after. We showed up for NXT after. Stand deliver, all delivered. We brought you all the hard hitting, fantastic shit that happened on it. Kurt yelled at me a lot, which is on par with every week. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to go see a doctor after this because my heart just can't take it. Anyways, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Great show of the week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm gonna be that guy. Raw from this week. Raw from this week, man. Absolutely wild. We got the surprises. We got the returns. Everything just worked. It was so much fun.
I can't go against what you just said. It was such a good Raw. I can't if we do it this way, you pick first, you have Raw, I'm taking Stand to Deliver.
Shit, even you think fucking shows were better than WrestleMania. That's wild.
Psych! WrestleMania Night 2, John Cena, 17-time champion.
No. Go with Stand Deliver.
No, Stand Deliver was awesome. Stand Deliver was awesome. Start to finish.
They delivered. Every match delivered.
Yeah. Wrestler of the week and a half.
That is a legit tough one, but
very.
I gotta give it to Io Sky, man. I gotta give it to Io Sky.
All right. Damn, that was my pick. I know I could pick the same one.
This is why we can do this together because we have the same thoughts about wrestling.
Io,
for the most part.
The reason I was going Io is just because of that triple threat match and then the banger with Stephanie Vaquer. You know what? I'll go Stephanie Vaquer.
She showed up and showed out too.
Stephanie Vaquer showed up in that fatal 4-way, and then Julia, and then the match with Io, and yeah. Now listen, for personal reasons, I do want to say John Cena. You can have your feelings about how the match went. I get that, but he has put himself in a position for his entire career, and the man has won 17 world championships. He did carry a couple back.
You asked the record. It's now John Cena.
So, in realistic, honest fashion, John Cena is my wrestler of the week just because he is 17-time world champion. Now, from an in-ring work perspective, Stephanie Vaquer, Io Sky, because they fucking put in the work. Both of them, So, I go Stephanie more than Io. You know why? When I sit and think about it, she did Stand and Deliver, and then she got dressed, and she was there at the pre-show to announce the AAA stuff, and then she wrestled on Monday Night Raw against Io, and then she defended her title on Tuesday against Roxanne. No quitting that woman. All right, man. Episode 50. We did a lot of talking, broke a lot of stuff down. We only give you bits and pieces and little bits of breakdowns, maybe the finishes, sometimes a little more, entrances. Here's some commentary, blah, blah, blah. What we recommend when it comes to moments like this, especially the Monday Night Raw after Mania, just go watch it. Go watch it. Go watch WrestleMania. Enjoy the shows. Wrestling is on fire. It is awesome, and we're building for greatness. Episode 50. We are almost to a year's worth of doing this show. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. RK, anything to say before we head out of here?
No. It was a fun weekend of wrestling, people. Keep up, keep going. If you're a casual fan, if you're a diehard fan, if you're a sicko, if you're a fed, doesn't matter. Wrestling's awesome. Have your opinions. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
Just have fun with it. In the end, stop being so serious all the time. It's fucking wrestling. It's meant to be fun.
And if you're a fan, I know you'll watch the shows, you'll lock in. Even if you're laid up in a hospital, you will make sure you watch professional wrestling because that's how good this shit has been recently. With that being said, thanks so much for tuning in to episode number 50 of This Week in Wrestling. I am Kurt. That is RK, and we are the Top Rope Renegades.
This Week in Wrestling, hosted by Kurt and RK.